we have stream.
It's Saturday night. We're live in the shop. Welcome to the stream. I'm Kim of Kim Fixes Things.
Hello.
You can find my channel elsewhere on YouTube, and if you have time to pop it up in your in another window or something for the future, there is a 45-minute video that I just put out. Most of you probably have already watched it because you're a regular crowd. But there is a video on my channel about the entire season of working on this Dodge Dart. It's about 45 minutes long, and some of it will maybe be repeat, but there's some...
But she tells a good story, so it's worth watching.
Oh, well, thank you. That's a nice way to put it. So if you are looking for something to watch later on, would really appreciate the viewership on it, because I don't post enough. I don't think YouTube likes me because I don't post enough videos often enough. So they want more consistency, and I don't have it. I've been busy.
She posts your stuff on my channel.
Well, I do that.
It's good.
No, I post our stuff on your channel.
I see.
And I post my stuff on my channel, but also we got real busy and timelines and whatever. Anyways, I don't want to persist too much on that, but check out my channel if you're not familiar with it at Kim Fixes Things. I am here with Buff Del Campo, the namesake of the channel that you've already found. We are in the Buff Del Campo shop, garage, industrial complex.
Industrial complex. There's a nice word for a little building.
Yeah, it's not a very big industrial. I don't think we're not zoned for industrial complexity, so we don't even have running water. So, have no fear. The Dougster is here, but
fear is gone.
But wait a minute, Dougster got special treatment.
Yeah, so we got to go. I'm going to scroll up the top so you can get everybody that came in the beginning.
Okay, so
there's a couple missing.
No,
I think that's where we were. Yep. Okay.
Okay. So since this is a live stream and not regular long form video, we will be talking pretty much all night with the chat, people who are here during the live. So if you are here later, we will try and read the names of the people and read their comments aloud when we're responding, so you can kind of follow along if you're not able to look at the screen and see the chat. But if you are able to look at the chat, it will make more sense what we're talking about, so for the future. And so I'm going to greet people now, since some people are here. One-Eyed Cat, you got here really early, but I'm going to give it to you because you've been here the whole time. So Mr. One-Eyed Cat has been here since 6:05 p.m. That's about 4 hours early?
Yeah.
He's been clicking in between tasks. Welcome to the stream. I award you 1 point for being here so darn early. Daryl B is here. Welcome to the stream. Dave the Rave is here, and he has been seeing the stream pop up ever since he watched the torque wrench calibration short. Thanks for coming in, Dave.
I think that was a long video, wasn't it?
We did do a long video.
Yeah, I don't know which one. There were two, so I don't know which one he got.
We've done several on torque wrench calibration where we hang weights to test them. Sear Canadian Diesel is here. Junk Car Willie is here. Welcome to the stream. Daryl B says he's learning something already. Buff Del Campo is here in the chat.
Yeah, I was chatting.
He's been responding with people for a while. That's cool of you. Tavo stopped in. Tavo nailed it. He gets a point for being here first comment, closest to the start of the stream. That was pretty bang on. Dougster Wolverine Garage got here pretty nearly close as well. Tavo says, I've just completed some manufacturing achievements in my industrial complex.
Personal industrial complex.
Personal industrial complex.
That's what we have, a personal industrial complex.
Oh, that's true. I think we might be zoned for personal industrial complex.
We're not going to talk about zoning.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's something we messed up.
We're not doing anything commercial here, so we are not of commercial. Nothing here is commercial. Dougster gets special treatment. Yay! All right. One-Eyed Cat says, still here. Me and Wendy playing spades. She's winning after 3 hands. Get him, Wendy. Get him. Don't you play spades with 4 people?
I don't know. I don't know.
We used to play spades with 4 people. So
I'm not sure what that game is.
And you weren't allowed to crosstalk, but we always had our little cheats, our tells.
Dave the Rave. Good evening. Yeah, I saw your post earlier. I thought it was pretty cool that you stopped in.
Dave says I viewed the long-winded version.
Okay.
I mean,
there were two. There was a short. There may have been. We did a couple of them on Torques. We did one where we actually. I don't know. We had one that was a good torque wrench we did, and then we had the broken one. Remember the one you found in the ditch, and we tried to fix it. And that one,
oh yeah,
we did a video on that.
That's
one.
right here.
And I think, yeah, she used this one.
You could see, it still says, failed.
Failed. It is
no calibration.
It's now a breaker bar or ratchet or something. She used it all the time, but it's just
it's a good heavy duty wrench for yanking on things.
Yanking on things, yeah.
Dougster, I'll let you know. See, it's kind of like the old cigarette magazines where if you collect enough points, you can cash them in for special prizes. Dougster says 89 points. You get a toaster. It's the 6 slice and stainless steel. What else would it be? 139 points earns you the deluxe waffle maker. Very nice. Is it cast iron?
And he says 100,000 and you get the DeLorean? Do we have a DeLorean I don't know about?
I mean, if people earn 100,000 points, because I'm giving them out in the single digits. I don't think I've ever given anybody more than 10 points in one. So if we get to where one person has collected 100K points, we're going to have to refurbish a DeLorean and give it away.
Oh my God.
As long as they don't waste all their points on toasters. KJ Kylie is here. Welcome to the stream. She says...
She or he? Was KJ he or she?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know. I don't know. It's funny. I just never thought of that.
I don't have a visual representation of everyone, so I can't always know. Welcome to the stream, though. And Tavo says, I can actually conduct commercial activities from my premises, but I don't. It's good that you have those freedoms. Here in the United States, our freedoms are abbreviated for the sake of... I don't know why, because they say so.
Dave Ray says, don't I get a few points just for opening an account? Normally we give points because somebody know. Like I get stumped on something that I can't remember somebody's name or the name of a company or what the tool is called, and somebody jumps right in there and tells me, and she'll give them a point for that. That's the kind of thing we give points for usually. Or she gives somebody a point if they get they're first in as soon as they pop in, they're right there. I also want to bring up for new people who are in here. This is completely international chat. Tavo is in Australia. A lot of us here in the United States, and at least one in here tonight is in Canada, and we have regulars in here from Mexico, Canada, U.S., Australia, New Zealand, India, where else? Ireland. It's international.
India.
Yep.
You said that, didn't you?
Yes, I did say India.
Okay. KJ Kylie's from Pittsburgh. Dougster Wolverine Garage is from... Where's Dougster from? I can't remember where.
Dean Stevenson's here. Here we are, New Zealand.
Dean Stevenson. Allegedly, Dean Stevenson. That would mean that the world is round.
Oh,
but
we know.
I believe you're just around... You're on near the other side of the ice ring. Robert Owen is here. Says, hey, all. Welcome to the stream, Robert. So we don't just say hello to everybody the whole stream. We do more than this. And we do have a whole bunch of things tonight. One of the things that we need to do is we need to record a couple of shorts for him to put up.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll do it during the I don't know if we'll do that during the live, but we've done that before. Recorded a short during the live.
Some of it will depend on if things wind down and everybody kind of says goodnight and we're done having our conversations, or if it starts to wind down, we might wrap it up and then work on shorts because we have some tools set aside already. But otherwise, sometimes we do record shorts live, and it's kind of fun. You guys get to see the creative process as it goes. I try and show you a little of that in the long form videos. I don't know if anybody watched it, but I just put out a long form video on his channel of us extracting some bolts, broken off bolts from a cylinder head, and
oh yeah, that was fun. Danny Boyd's here.
Yeah, and then so I am a director a bit. I'm the camera person, but I also try to make things better, right? Because even somebody who's good at something, their presentation skills can maybe be, and I'm opinionated too. So better is relative. But
Dougster, I missed that. Did she really say that?
Yes. I say do sometimes.
Oh, you didn't. You didn't say another word for do. Okay, I get it. I get it now.
Oh, southwestern Michigan.
There's a nuclear power plant over there.
But in regards,
it's like I know where every nuclear power plant is.
In regards to points, as we award points for people who are on the ball. They're obviously paying attention to what's going on in the stream, and they're answering questions, or they've added something that is very relevant to what we're discussing. Or sometimes if somebody brings a comment back around, like if they were here at the beginning and then we say something and it relates back and they make a snappy comment that relates back to the beginning of the stream and that makes me smile, then I might award them a point or two. But we don't award large amounts of points. We don't give away points. We rarely just like grant a bunch of points all at once. And we...
yeah, we're not one of those channels that gives away like 100,000 points at once.
Yeah, and we don't give points for memberships or super chats or anything like that because we don't feel like that seems like begging. I don't know. But we do appreciate them a lot. But that's not the way the points work.
We do appreciate the super chats. Anyway, I bought oil
changes
for it.
Oh, a 2019 Cherokee 2.4 with a Wix filter, and it was $60. Danny Boyd, yeah, it's expensive.
Oil changes. That's what we buy sometimes. Oil changes.
Is it cold near the ice wall, Dean Stevenson? Do you get...
What? Where's this about?
We're just making jokes about it. Burn the witch.
He is asking about the ice wall.
Don't burn the witch. Wow, you guys are really being very lighthearted and commenting a lot, and I appreciate it, but we're missing comments because we're yapping too much.
Oh yeah, that KJ Kiley says they have segments. There's a lot of stuff on there about calibrating torque wrenches. It's just that particular one is so broken, it will never be calibrated. It needs to come apart and be... have parts replaced or something. It's a real piece of junk because it was found in a ditch and it was all rusty. So we just use it for a big old ratchet because we have good torque wrenches. We don't need to try to resurrect that thing.
Yeah. We did find somewhere where they explained how to take that, disassemble that, and replace the parts if necessary to get it back in.
And there's places, different torque wrenches, a little different, that we can adjust them. But
it's just the cheapest kind you can get.
The ones we use are really good. So, yeah, they test real well. So
it's just a junk wrench. Dean says today it's frigid. Oh, that's bad. One-Eyed Cat said, me and Wendy both bet 7. One of us is set. More to follow. So it sounds like Don is had better have counted his spades properly, or else he's in some trouble.
Cherokee 2.4 takes 5.5 quarts. 5.5 quarts. That sounds like maybe 5 liters. We're going to start that now. $60 for a gallon of reasonable quality oil down here. Is that 60 Australian? See, Doug's.
I got that 2.5 gallon jug of oil. It's just 30 weight oil, and it was like under $20. I don't know where I got it or why it was so cheap.
It was straight 30, and people don't want it so much.
I was like, okay. Well, they're not going to use the wrong oil for their vehicle. But why was it on the shelf at all? Where did it come from?
Back in 1966, when these things were new, that's what you ran. So I don't see any problem with that. And that thing was just dumping oil out the bottom anyway.
Fresh oil is better. And the clearances in that engine were loose enough that you weren't going to hurt it by putting heavy oil in it. Anyways.
Okay, let's see here. Dougster said, I fished off Lake Erie, offshore from a Port Clinton area, nuclear power plant. Slayed the walleye that trip.
Nice.
The plant is huge by that. That's
a catch and release zone, though, is it?
That's Perry Nuclear Power Plant. And I worked very, very close to there for quite a while. I know that place. But I thought you lived near one. Dougster, over on southwestern Michigan. There's one over there somewhere. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head.
Twisted Mopar Garage has entered the chat. Welcome to the stream. Says hello, everyone, and gives us a waving emoji. Glad you're here. We've got a full house already.
Cope. John Cope's here. You don't see him. You're scrolling. Your eyes are scrolling down. Okay.
Cope reminds us that we're having audio trouble. Everyone is probably the reason no one said anything about it is because everyone knows. So we have the computer that we have in the garage in the shop is the old computer, the grandfather of all the computers that we have in our fleet of many computers, and it is not up to the task of streaming. It is multi-processor, but it's not multi-threaded. So it tries to run all of the streaming on one processor, and then it overheats and it doesn't work properly. And there's nothing we can do about it. We need to replace this machine, and we're going to do that next week.
That's getting replaced next week. This, is the oldest computer we had, so it got relegated to the shop.
Yeah, because it's going to get ruined out here. It's going to get dust and metal filings in it.
Oh, metal filings. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
You were porting.
I know.
Right by a computer that's wide open.
I know. That's why we had used the old one out here, but
Dirt Road Landing, good evening. Yeah, I know. It probably really bothers some people. And I know I don't like to watch stuff where the audio and the video don't match. And I'm sorry it's like that right
And
now.
There's a way to tweak with the delay between the two. And when I change it, the computer can't keep up with the change and it messes it up too. So I apologize. It will be fixed soon. But
you know what I want to do?
If you squint, it's mint.
Do you know what I want to do? I want to plug the fan in and see if that noise from the fan bothers us, because that thing's going to overheat.
Oh, it won't be too bad. Go ahead, plug it in.
Yeah, and then once it overheats, then we're messing with it all evening. Okay, let's both be quiet.
Probably we can turn that down to medium instead of...
You're talking. Oh yeah, it picks it up. Okay, I'm going to walk around there and turn it down, because it's on too high. But if we don't cool that computer, it gets pissed off.
She had a 10 for 200 hand, got me 11-2, but she got 4 bags out of it. Well, sometimes if you could set her, you'll be doing good, Dawn. One-Eyed Cat and Mrs. One-Eyed Cat are playing spades this evening. Do you ever have couples over and play team spades? That's a lot of fun. I used to really enjoy that. Remember when they sold refurbished oil? They still do, but they actually overcharge for it.
What is this?
Refurbished oil? Reconditioned oil?
Oh,
You've heard of that?
I worked in a gas station when I was 16, and we had, what they call it, reclaimed oil or something. It was cleaned, it looked clean, but it came in a 55-gallon drum, and there was a pump, and we had these glass bottles, and you'd pump a quart, and people bought that stuff, and it was 30 cents a quart. And Valvoline and Pennzoil and all those were 60 cents a quart. And this is 1970, so it was half price. And people with old oil burning cars and leaky cars, they all bought that stuff. And we sold a lot of it. It's pretty funny, actually.
Dirt Road Landing is here.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the stream. Thanks for being here, Dirt Road Landing. We missed some stuff. Something about Dylan McCool Plymouth V200 four-door that came from Huntington, Alabama. I'm confused.
Dylan McCool, you know who Dylan McCool is?
I do.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't been following him real close.
I haven't watched it yet. I have seen a lot of his content, but I haven't watched it yet.
That's one thing. You start doing this, pretty soon you can't watch everybody. So I'm really happy everybody stops in here. I like that.
Daryl B says, I blow my computers out with compressed air once a month or so. It really helps. Daryl B, I do keep an eye on most of the computers and watch for buildup, because overheating is a major cause of computer failure. Military base car, okay. Kim, how spicy was the port job? As spicy as you can do on a Slant 6. No, well, let's say no. As spicy as you can do with factory-sized valves. If I had oversized valves, I could have ported it out bigger. I guess I could have done more, but I think it's going to make a huge difference.
You cleaned up all the little spots that are a problem.
It's the spiciest one yet. No, it was more than just cleaning up problems. It's like it already had a little bit of work done on the valve guides. I didn't do any more work on the valve guides, so it does have the bosses for the valve guides still in the ports. I don't think that's the major restriction. I went extreme on the valve shrouding. There is
I see Tavo come here at the bottom. No, our keyboards stay very clean. All the dust falls onto the ceiling. You know, because they're in the bottom of the earth. Yeah, it's like the gravity works the other way.
KJ Kiley spurred that comment.
Oh, I see. I just, while you were talking, I saw it pop up, and I thought, yeah, I always wonder why they don't fall off the bottom. They're like a fly. They get sticky stuff on their feet.
Don says it's 216 to 30 going to be a tough comeback. Do you play a certain number of hands? Because that's not that many points yet. Waste oil here goes to the where did it say? Brickworks to fire the kilns. Oh, okay, that's interesting.
You laugh at what I do.
A lot of people here use it for heating.
When we have the wood stove going, and I'm trying to get a fire started, I take some of the kindling and I put it in the oil that we drained out of a car, and you got to be careful with it because it's in a wood stove. You can't let the fire get too big. But man, you light that, and the kindling will get going pretty quickly, and it really helps the fire get going. But I do
that. Dave the Rave says those glass bottles with the metal tops are today's collectibles. Perhaps, yes.
Oh, they could be. We had these glass bottles. I don't remember tops. I just remember we filled them up. Like if somebody wanted that oil, you came in and you filled up like 2 of them and walked out there. There was a woman that come in with a 1960 Rambler American, and that thing, every time she got gas, she got two quarts of that reclaimed oil. And I remember that real well. This is probably quite an oil burner or leaker.
Dean says, I remember Dad putting a quart of oil in the Vauxhall Velux before metrification in 1973, and he says that's why I'm here. You're my safe people, Buff and Kimbergini. I'm glad that you like it here that much, Dean. We appreciate you being here, and not everything that Dean says is going to make sense, and that's okay, people. Just let it be.
Danny Boy says, you have a drill press right behind you. Larger valves are only that far away. Well, you know what? We're on a budget. And I think you're using everything that you have. That's actually pretty good.
Well, larger valves are difficult because a Slant 6 is not really looked at as a performance engine. Go figure. There's most places... I don't know of places that you can affordably order performance parts off the shelf. So, I found some new old stock TRW exhaust valves.
Oh.
So those will go in. And I lapped the seats last night. So we're going to use them. They were affordable. I got them off of eBay. And
New old stock's great stuff.
yeah, I mean, they're new old stock, so the quality is probably more likely to be what we need. And so we're going to use them. Because this is not like a race car. It's just a fun car. And we're going to do some trick stuff to it, like the porting. And we got the rings are fresh and the piston pulled out and clean. Like, we did a lot of stuff so that it'll be a good motor, a really good motor, but it's not really a race motor. It's only going to make 125 horsepower.
Here, I'm gonna mess with the camera for a second.
Okay.
Because there's the engine we're talking about. That's the Slant, and there's the 66 Dart. And then I'm going to bring the camera back because let's bring it back. So, just so everybody can see it sitting here. And I'm sorry, I got my usual thing of a throat problem, so I got a cough drop in my mouth. You can go ahead. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
That's okay. I'm having a hard time. Everything's gone so fast. I think all the conversations have been, wow, squirrel. I go this way, I go that way, I go this way. I'm sorry if I miss people's comments or if we're dropping conversations. We're trying. You guys are here in force commenting, and I hope that you're enjoying your Saturday night. And we're glad that you're here to share it with us.
And I see funny stuff. Danny Boyd, I pity the day when today's garbage becomes new old stock. like the points that don't work today, and 50 years from now, somebody will buy the new old stock and be garbage. Twisted Mopar says put a supercharger on that. You know what? We got a brand new turbo over there and an intercooler and all the stuff. And it was supposed to go on my Valiant, but Kim's talking about commandeering it. So I don't know. It could go on this one.
We're not sure, but we got to get the car back together.
We got to get it together and driving again.
We have experienced a great deal of project bloat here. We were supposed to be taking the motor out to put in a new rear main seal. And it is a squirrel. Yeah, Dean says squirrel. We were supposed to be putting in a new rear main seal, and now we have done frame repair, suspension repair, brake work, wiring work. We acquired a new block. We took the pistons out. We gave it a hone refresh. We've painted it. I've ported the cylinder heads. And
our head.
Yeah, and we're what? We're more than a month into this.
We were going to come back from No Name Nationals, which was a month ago. And we were going to fix it. This dart was leaking oil. So when we came back, we were just going to drive home and then start on this aluminum car we want to do. But we decided to fix the oil leak in the dart first. Well, the oil leak turned into taking the engine out. And then because the engine was out, there was some rust under there. So Kim fabricated some parts, and we fixed the whatever part of that. It's a unibody, but I call it a frame member under there. Fixed the frame member, got that all done, and then while that was going on, she had the left front brake apart, and then it needed some brake work, and the what do you call the brake hoses, the pressure hoses, they needed flex hoses. They needed to be replaced. And then, while you had the suspension parts out, might as well put bushings in, And we're to the point where all that stuff's done on the car.
And new bearings in the front wheel.
Oh, yeah, and then needed to put front wheel bearings in it because they were bad. So now we're a month into this job that was not supposed to be at all.
Yeah.
And some point,
unfortunately, we have to start cutting. We have to start cutting the wish list and keep it moving because we can only work a couple hours a day on this.
It's a 3-speed manual, 3 on a tree, and Kim would like it to be an automatic. She's got a bunch of automatics around here, so she may do that, which will probably be a little more work because we don't have.
You know what? I found the kickdown linkage. I have all the linkage.
You have okay, but you don't have shift linkage, so we're going to have to work that one out.
Yeah,
But it's another couple of things, Each one of those things takes a couple hours of screwing around.
it does.
So then what happens is that, the project creep. So at some point, yeah, wheel bearings are easy. So are the flex hoses. So is the bushing. So is it, but
Yeah, it only takes an hour.
it's a big list.
But the other thing is when we're not. This is not a regular commercial automotive shop, so we're not set up to do all these different processes. So we have to set up specifically to do one time on one thing. The press is bare. All our tools are buried under other buried and parts and.
Although Kim has done a real good job at helping to clean the shop up, and each time we work in here with a new job, we seem to have a little more room because of the organization. And we got Kim put these shelves up here that weren't there. You can see some of them behind us. There's some more up there, and so it's not just heaps of crap on the floor anymore. It's quite
You couldn't
organized.
even walk into this building, although taking the Studebaker out of it made it a lot more open. And there was a trailer in here, and there was a wing, airplane wing manufacturing jig in here, which was
It's all the
30 foot long.
It was 28 feet, I think, and then there was or 26 feet, and then there was the.
And then we added a wood stove.
There was a spar table. There was all this stuff for manufacturing airplane parts, and all that's out of here now. So yeah, it turned into she's really done a good job, and I've helped with a little, but it's her instigating it that made it happen. And then, so once this is done, we're going to bring the Spitfire in here that needs a body, and we're going to build an aluminum body for it, or at least that's the plan. So we're still doing it. We're just got off track a little bit.
Rainy Slant 6 with a chance of cannonballs.
Oh.
Wanted to say in last night's live that what Kim said about matching either cylinder head ports or intake manifold runners or exhaust manifold to typical available combo intake exhaust gasket. I think that I think there's more to that, and he's probably still typing.
Yeah, he does that. He does that. He does long things and puts little tits. There he is down there.
We'll get to creating a short flared out section on either side of the gasket sandwich, but you can get gasket stock to make your own gasket. Yeah, we're not going to do it. It turns into Project Bloat. I got to put this cylinder head together tonight so we can paint it. It can go back on the engine and we can finish. Because I agree that it could be better. And I am going to port the exhaust manifold because I don't have to finish that tonight. But I'm not going to do the intakes. And I believe that there's enough flow through those intake ports that it won't be a serious problem. But yeah, it could be better. There's always better. We could pick a part of this project and make it better until we are all old and gray and parked in the ground. But
what do you mean?
Have to
Until
keep
we're
it
old
moving.
and gray. I'm getting old and gray.
I'm too old to do this. Because this block, let me tell you, you give me a die grinder on this block, I'll bet you I could take 20 pounds of cast iron out of this block. It is way thicker than it needs to be in a ton of places.
Well,
but there's just not time in the day to do it all.
I kind of like what you said last night. I don't think you said it on. I think it was after we went off the live. It could have been while we were on the live though. You said she has a pretty nice borescope. She was talking about going down there and looking at the ports with the borescope, and if they're way off, she'll do something, But if they're pretty close, we're probably just gonna leave it, because it's time to get this thing out of here. And at some point, you'll probably put your 318 or 360 in this. So, we'll probably drive it for a year or so with this engine.
At least, yeah.
Yeah, you may see it next year at No Name Nationals with this engine in it.
I sure hope so. But we have other projects that we want to work on. We don't want this to be the end of our channel, is working on a Dart for the rest of our lives. He has full desire and intention to get another vehicle because his daily driver is gone. So we have to get that in here and get it serviced and ready to go, and then build an aluminum car.
just be careful not to nick the water jacket. You know, if you watch her,
I did not do a lot of thinning of the intake or exhaust port walls.
You watch her first. It's over a year ago. There's a video on my channel of her porting my head, my Slant 6 head for my Valiant, and she goes through that talking about where water jackets are and where things are and where you can grind and where you can't grind, and it's a pretty good video. And yeah, if you search back there for Slant 6 head porting or something like that, it's you can watch her do that. And she worked on it about 4 hours, and we cut the video down to maybe, 20-30 minutes, something like that, of you talking about where you can grind, where you can't grind, where you got to be careful. Because, and when I watched that, I realized that Kim been there before. She's done this stuff with Slant 6s in the past. Oh, Olive came in. I missed that. And Barrows is here.
Welcome to the stream, Olive.
Barrows, we haven't seen you in a long time. How you doing?
Oh, Barrows is a moderator. Thank you for coming in, Barrows. Welcome to the Saturday night stream. We're working on our Slant 6. Show Barrows the Slant 6.
Yeah, he hasn't been in here in a while. We've been working on this project. That's the second. That's the other engine Kim bought, and it's in much better condition than the one that came out of the car. So that's the block we're using, and the head, actually the one that came off her engine, is pretty good, and so she's been working on the she's been working on the head that we're going to use, and it was the one off her engine, which somebody replaced. It's in really good shape. So
Jack Howdy, welcome to the stream. Hope you all are well tonight. I think most of us are doing very well, and that is a unique name.
A unique name.
A unique choice of name. Kimbergini base and Kimbergini square make it a quorum. Okay.
The car in the thumbnail is a 1960 Valiant. Before they called it a Plymouth Valiant. They called it a Plymouth Valiant starting in 1961. It's the first year of the Valiant. And I like that car because when I was 6 years old, my neighbor, a woman that was a young couple next door in 1960, bought two new cars. Her husband bought a 1960 Ford Ranchero, and she bought a 1960 Valiant, and she took me for a ride in it. I was 6 years old. I thought that was so cool. I loved that car. So I've had a real liking for the early Valiants. And then in here we have, well, it's either One-Eyed Cat or Mrs. One-Eyed Cat. I think they're both in here, actually. And they have Valiants at 1962s, which are the same body as that one that's on the thumbnail, but it's they made those cars for 3 years, and they have 62s, and they geez, he's got a 440 in his. Oh man. And I think she's got, what do you have, Wendy? Do you have a Slant in yours? I think. I'm not sure. I really don't know what Wendy has in hers. Okay, so what are you doing? You're pulling spark plugs.
Yeah, I'm just doing some more preparations for the painting.
I'm going to, I guess we can see what's going on there.
Okay. Guys, thank you so much for being here and all your comments and conversations. Don't be afraid to repeat yourself. Give it a minute and try again if we're not able to follow your comment, because there's a lot going on. But we appreciate everybody who's here. It is not personal. It's just, I don't know, if you've never streamed and never watched 100 comments go by like this while you're trying to talk, it just can be really difficult. But we appreciate everybody who's commenting. We're not trying to leave anybody out.
One-Eyed Cat just offered me a ride in his 440 Valiant, the next No Name Nationals.
Oh, you better take him up on that. That car is so cool. I
wanted to ask. I asked him something once before, and I don't think he replied. And it was in chat, so maybe I missed it. I was standing next to you, and you were putting fuel, race fuel, in that 440 Valiant, and I think you said it was because quality of the fuel you got at a gas station or something. I don't remember what you said, but I was just wondering how that worked out, because after that, I didn't see you again at No Name Nationals. So, just wondering how it worked. His haircut was, what's KJ Kylie saying? Oh, I see. Never mind. He also had a Monaco. What was the other one there? I'm missing stuff because it's going by pretty quickly. I'm gonna scroll back for a second. Yeah, Taos' little trivia. The branding point, Valiants down here, that's in Australia, were commonly referred to as Chrysler Valiants. That's incorrect. They were officially Valiant by Chrysler. You know, they were pretty much the same thing here the first year. They were Valiants. They were not Plymouth Valiants, but in '61 they were Plymouth Valiants. Namesake of the unit, what?
All right, we got a lot of Slant 6 people.
Oh, I'm like I'm almost can't keep up with the chat, but that's okay. If I miss you, I'm sorry. Just can't catch it all. The namesake of the unit, hertz of frequency.
Okay, guys, who can come up with what's the most obscure name for this part?
Do you know what this part is? Does anybody know what that? Well, we got Slant 6 people in there, so somebody will know.
There's a lot of people.
You know what this part is that goes in the head of the engine.
But there's several different names. What's the most obscure name you've ever heard that was called?
Okay, here you go.
You can tell them what it does because they
let's see here. Let's see here. While I'm trying to, who's buried in Grant's tomb? Let's see.
Nobody.
Correct. When I wanted more octane. Ran a 1002. Wanted the 9. Still didn't get it.
Didn't quite get it. Octane. You're not going to get a lot more.
Well, unless you can advance the ignition.
Oh, that's right. Unless you can get an ignition.
Yeah, unless you start changing timing.
Or if you're noticing ping and it's causing the car to hesitate.
Okay. Let's see here. Sweets here. Are you going to paint the head a different color? I don't think so.
No, it's going to be the same color as the whole
thing will be.
Oh, you know what else I wanted to mention? Because a lot of these people were here last night.
Oh, Danny Boyd got it. Drool tube.
Yeah, that's one of the names. There's other names.
Plug tube.
Yep. Probably not too many other names.
Jack says plug tube. Dougster says drool tubes. Dean says dirigible.
That's obscure, all right.
Dave the Rave says doohickey, or whatchamacallit. Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna just let the chat go here for a second.
Last night, guys, this oil pan, I wire brushed it and then coated it with this rust treatment by Permatex, and it's a pretty common thing that you put it turns the rust into this black hard coating, and some people were curious how well it works, and somebody said that only works on rust, and I agree with that. This oil, the oil drain plug, it doesn't stick to it because it wasn't rusty. It comes right off. Well, not right off, but doesn't stick to it. And it doesn't stick to paint. You can chip it right off of paint. But the rusty spots, man, it grabs.
It grabs the rusty spot.
Woo! Does it grab.
So EFOG 3, good evening.
We can top coat it from there. But some people were curious about it. I thought I'd bring it back. I'm going to hit it with the spray paint, but I'm not going to do that inside.
Sayer says spell supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Hey, say it backwards. Dociusolioexpiasticfragicaliwoopus. See, I remember that.
What?
Kim's yelling. What? Dociusolioexpiasticfragicaliwoopus. Nice. They said that on the movie. I remember it. See, Sarah, you thought you had one on me, dude. One I guess says looks good. Run it. Oh, here we are with the. What paint are you getting? Why yellow?
It's already been opened. I'm gonna use it up before.
On what?
On the pan, I'm going to use it as the tack coat, and I'm going to cover it with orange.
Oh, okay. You're gonna. What kind of paint is that? So we aren't mixing types of paint.
It's Duplicolor engine enamel with ceramic.
Okay. Same thing. Okay.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be like accidentally putting lacquer over enamel and having a big gooby mess.
Get the planishers out and fix them dents in the tank. I don't want to beat on it anymore. It's bad enough.
Sarah says, Campo, that was impressive as hell.
Yeah, that he said it backwards. Yeah,
only way that word could be better is if it were a palindrome. Yeah. Well, see, I had a friend, he used to say stuff backwards, and I started saying my stuff backwards. And my father went to school at South Dakota State University, and he had a sticker on the back window of the car that said, Alumni, South Dakota State University. But from the inside of the car, it said, How to Sadakity Tatesius Revenue, which is South Dakota State University backwards. So, I don't know how I remember this stuff. I can remember that, but I can't remember somebody's name that I met yesterday, you know. Yeah, try to say that, South Dakota State University backwards. Let's see, get away from this silliness. Barrows, I always use a set of old spark plugs when I paint to keep paint out of the plug seats and ensures true ground for the giggle juice. Yeah, that's a good idea. Use old plugs. Race car, race car. My friend had a Firebird, supposedly had a 403 Olds in it. When he got that thing, it wouldn't even spin the wheels. You know how disappointed I was the first time I opened a hood on a Trans Am, saw an Oldsmobile engine in there? I go, oh, what? See, I had a Pontiac dealer across the street from me in my radiator shop, and I used to get brand new cars in for problems, usually heater core leaks, because they come in brand new with a heater core, peeing fluid all over the place. So I had a brand new Trans Am in there, open up the hood, and there's a 403 Olds in it. It's like, what? Yeah, she keeps there. Okay, I'm gonna Buff's officially my favorite streamer now. Oh, jeez. Palindrome. No, not palindrome. Palindrome. One of your old-time mechanics said, hold one, try this, and he twisted the timing, and that car ran like a straight ass that dude. It would lay posse marks forever. Hey, Buff, let's see here. I'm trying to keep up with this. An airport for, I won't say it. Danny Boyd. Okay, I'm trying. I can't speak backwards, but I can write in any direction and change directions while writing. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Well, did you hear me say South Dakota State University, or were you out back when you said that?
No.
See, my dad had a sticker on the back window that said Alumni, South Dakota State University.
Uh-huh.
But from the inside of the car, you look out and it said, How to Sadakity Tatesius Revenue, which is South Dakota State University backwards. Because I read it to him. He's like, what? So, let's see here. When Pontiac phased out the 400 in early 79, and probably before they put 403s in them, the automatic to get their advertised brag you could tell because they said 6.6 liters, but I didn't understand what happened until I opened the hood. Man, that was probably 1979 that happened, somewhere in there. That's yes, Jack. The shaker scoop dictate what engine got. Shaker said 6.6 liter or 6.6 liter. One was for Olds power. One. Oh, they spelled liter differently? I never noticed that. What I noticed was they used to say 400 on them, and then they said 6.6. I didn't notice the difference in the spelling for liter. TA Shaker said TA 6.6. Man, I see. I didn't notice all the little differences. I just knew they said 400, and then they said 6.6. Chance of cannonball. Let's see here. On the plexi, keep the center flat face directly along the perimeter of the cylinder head. Port openings. Be careful not to burr up the threads. Yeah. This one didn't have a shaker, I didn't think. 403 is like a Ford 400. If you do things right, They're not difficult to wake up. Yeah, the Ford 400, the way it was, is what I didn't like about the 400 is just such a big, heavy engine. And then, of course, it's a small block, but it had the 429, which is the 385 engine bell housing on it, I think, which just made it another Ford bell housing issue. JB's Little Shop, how you doing? Hey, good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Kim, our mods are here tonight.
Welcome to the stream, JB.
Should have been Imperial 400 or 403 for the Oldsmobile engine ones. But GM did stuff like that. I'm sorry, my throat's bothering me a little. All second-gen TAs had the shaker, except the 4.9 turbo. Oh yeah, the 4.9. I remember that. Could have been a formula. Kim, what you working on? EFOG says, what you working on?
I am going to put a couple of studs in here. I'm going to set this intake manifold on here, and we're going to run a scope down and see what the port matching is like without any kind of modification.
She's going to do real live port matching.
We're not going to guess. We're
from
just
inside the port.
You know,
the
danger here.
With a thing that some people call an endoscope, but an endoscope is used by the medical industry for looking inside things, and the borescope's used for this. And on our borescope, it says not to put it in openings of
orifices.
Don't
put it in
Don't use it as if it were a medical device.
Yeah. Don't stick it in your parts. Any parts. Doesn't go anywhere. All right. Now we can break out the tools. Get a look.
That's why they had to pay back $550 to Oldsmobiles without Oldsmobile engines. That whole thing was, Ford used Ford engines and everything. Ford, Mercury, Lincoln. There were no Mercury engines, no Lincoln engines, all that. And GM had all their separate engines, so they had to get it down to a couple of engines. Well, then they got sued over that, which I thought was bogus. Chrysler used the same engine in every one of their cars, from the Imperial, huge luxury car, down to the Plymouth. Same engines. But GM didn't get away with that. Sarah says, eating lead. Oh, geez, it's scrolling by too fast. Come on. Eating lead paint chips give superpowers.
No, it doesn't.
Barrows confirm this. That's why all us old farts are cool and have strange talents.
No, it decreases IQ. Probably makes people less grouchy, though. Your IQ lowers.
Like a Chinese, we have two versions of English. English traditional for most of the world, and English simplified for the USA. You know how Chinese, they have simplified Chinese written. That's pretty good. Wow. Sarah says, I want to be a mod so I can block my own messages.
No.
I keep a couple of mods, and it's just, I think we have, 4? We have JB's Little Shop, Barrows, John Wilburn if he's in here, and Mexican Spec. And that's almost too many, but that's fine. We usually have a mod in here. And then, of course,
we don't need no
and
mods.
I don't like when I get on a channel and like everybody's a mod. That's just, then what are they going to do? Take care of themselves?
Everybody here is respectful, and on the rare occasion that we have somebody who's difficult, they're easy to get rid of.
Yeah, Dean says, say no to metrics, renounce metrics, be like Liberia and Myanmar. Yeah. Well, people give the U.S. a really,
don't get him started.
a really hard time about metrics. But the cars in the U.S. went metric in 1977. They really wrapped it up with all the legacy components by the mid 80s. I mean, it's been 40 years, and still I have European friends that give me a hard time that we were resisting metric, and it's like, converted 40 years ago and we're resisting it. I don't know. But then, of course, we have old cars like this well, I'm not going to go try to cram a 10 millimeter wrench on a 3/8 bolt, you know.
Here we got to convert. We got to drill out all the old hardware and put metric in here.
So of course you use something old. Just like the British give me all this trouble when I was there.
Stop resisting.
And I'm like, you know, it's because of you guys that I have a drawer full of what do they call those? What do they call those wrenches? I can't think of it off the top of my head right now. Yeah, you know the ones I mean. The ones that are in their inches. Whitworth tools. Because I worked on old British cars and I had to have Whitworth tools. Watching a Ford get cleaned out in 2 weeks now. It's still gummed up. Pontiac SD 455 is a very special engine. All engine parts are probably made of better materials, not like other engine family members. Oh, I see. Well, still, it's just like they narrow it down to the Oldsmobile and the Chevrolet engines instead of Olds. What was it? Olds Pontiac Buick. I'm missing one. Cadillac. I guess they kept the Cadillac around a little while, but they started putting Oldsmobile engines in those. So they tried to get it down to 2 engine families from the 5 that they had, because it was crazy. I mean, I can understand why they did that. Okay, this is going by.
Every engine for every car is different. So
Dean shows a wrench up here. It says unsafe mods in gray. He has a gray wrench. I built. Sears says I build house and high-rise towers in Imperial SAE, but when machining, metric is king. Yep. Like I always say, it just depends on what you're working on. I don't really care. Oh man, I can't keep up with this.
What did I do with the
metric system is so much easier to use. Buff there, butt hurt.
It's easier to convert, but it's not easier to use. It's the same to use.
I was working on a British aircraft. Yeah, Whitworth, he put it up here. I was working on a British aircraft. They said, well, we had to bring the plane to the U.S. and work on it. And they're like, well, you won't be able to work on this because you don't have any metric tools. I'm like, are you kidding me? We've been metric for 40 years. Yeah, where have you been? And these guys weren't even 40 years old. They were young guys. It's like, we've been metric before you were born. And you're giving me a hard time. Yeah.
There is that one guy. There's always that one guy who's like, I'll never use metric. Metric is good.
Well, and on this car, we'll never use. Well, I don't know if we'll never use metric. They might be something.
I use metric whenever I want to.
But you know, in this Dart,
I try not to add metric stuff to it to simplify the toolkit.
We had some painful cars this Tava. We had some painful cars down. Chrysler Centura was one. French body, Simco with Australian U.S. design running gear. So metric for the body, SAE for all the mechanicals. Okay, I'm losing the chat here, so I'm letting some of it scroll by. Yeah, we had, like, from 1977 into the 80s, we had a lot of stuff that was both, you know, and GM really did it right. They put kind of a light bluish gray color on all their metric bolts for the first few years. So you could just look at it and see if you need to pick up a metric wrench or a SAE wrench. But, you know, after a while, everything was metric. Geez, that was in the 80s, you know, really. And then I wouldn't have the tools. I mean, I was working on Japanese cars and European cars since I always laugh. My first wrench I ever bought was a metric wrench in 1963. I was 9 years old, and I had a bicycle that had metric hardware on it. And it's one of those flat wrenches that has like 3 or 4 different, like a bicycle wrench. You know, it has 3 or 4 different things on it. It had like a 10 and a 12. It's probably a 10 and a 13 and a 17 or something. I think the bicycle was made in France. Excited about SAE.
All right.
I like to use metric, but I razz Americans more. It's a sign of respect.
There you go. See, there you go. All right. So
So you're gonna stick that.
This
stick
is
it
the
in
part
there
of the
and see-
show.
Okay. I'm gonna have to. Oh, Buddy Carfano's here. Okay, soda bottles are metric liter. Oh yeah, I mean yeah, our food is all metric except meat. For some reason, meat's still in pounds. Okay, Kim. Okay, Kim's turn to talk.
We're doing the part of the show where I show that port matching in the Slant 6 is not a highly critical aspect of the porting. Okay, show them that port.
You haven't looked at it yet. Okay, what are we looking at there? Oh, we're hooked here.
Oh shit. Okay, hold on.
Okay, are we still there?
That's okay.
Not really. You got to move it a little bit.
I'll be able to see it on the side screen.
Oh, I see. No kidding.
But you got to watch your head a little bit. Okay.
I'm trying to.
So, there you go. I think you can see it there. So, that is from the manifold looking into the cylinder head. You can see that there is no obstruction. No obstruction.
And we're talking about a Slant 6 that you're going to drive back and forth to the grocery store.
But there's no reason to grind. We had other things to do. Okay, now let me show another port. Just for
Colonoscopy approved? No, we just went over that.
No.
It says right on here. Right on here. Don't do that.
Okay, I cannot see.
Because I'm in the way.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's okay.
I'm trying to move this around to steer the boroscope, but I can't do that. What, are you caught on something?
Well, I'm going around a turn. It's really difficult to see. Oh. Yep, that one's not going to be a winner. Let's try this one.
Do you have a set of aircraft sockets? Spline drive. Yes, I do.
Okay, we went into the port there. Okay, you can see right there, no porting need to be done. And I'm not telling you that I know this. I mean, I've never done this, so I'm curious. We have the equipment. Let's look. Let's see how critical it is. And that doesn't mean that on a different manifold or a different cylinder head, it's going to be the same. But I'm saying in this situation,
Buddy's calling it a poop shoot camera.
it's not a poop shoot camera.
It says right on here, not to use it for that. It says, this is not an endoscope. It's a boroscope. Do not use it on body parts.
Okay. You got to get close so I can see what's going on. So now, this is intake, so you see that it's, can you see? There's a lip going from, I'm in the port and I'm looking at the manifold. And you can see that edge of the manifold the whole way around. So I guess I could port the manifold so it's just slightly bigger, but there's no lip. It's widening as it comes into the cylinder head. Okay, same. This is another one.
Oh, you're still going?
It's widening. Here's another example of it widening as it comes into the cylinder head. Let me get this, bend this a little bit tighter so I could show it a little bit better.
I keep turning this the wrong way.
See, it's very close, but it's going from, it gets wider as it goes to the port that's in the head, because I'm going through the exhaust port, or from the intake port. So, as far as intake, it only gets bigger as it comes in. So, there's no reason to port. Maybe you could just easy cleanup. Yes, but is there any gain to be had? Am I just using my time running the grinder, or do I have something to be gained? I don't think there's anything to be gained there.
Well, you know, it's so much better than it was. And like I say, you're going to be driving that thing back and forth to the grocery store. And
everyone is dumb except Kim and Buff. Maybe. No. There's plenty of people, right? They do things because they want it to mean something. They want it to be better, but they're not really looking at what is the gain to be had. And I don't see that there's a great deal of gain to be had there. Yes, it's easy. That lip will hinder the sonic pulse.
You can't see in there very well.
You might be right, Barrows. You might be right. Yeah, I'll give you that. Sonic pulse. And if we were at the level of, we got to make sure this Slant 6 has the correct sonic pulse, then yes, we would do it. But we are not, and this Slant 6 is never going to be. And probably no Slant 6 that I can ever afford to build ever will be. I think my time and energy probably better put towards some other aspect of this build. But yes, you could grind away for forever if that's what you like to do. Keep on grinding, people. Keep on grinding. I did a lot of grinding, and it's time for me to paint and reassemble.
Dave the Rave, no scope for me. I told the doctor it's exit only. You know what? What I've heard is they can actually do a lot of that with imagery now, like a CT scan. And when I started reading about that, and here I am, not that I'm a doctor or anything, but they do occasionally put one of those through somebody's intestine, perforate the intestine, and that's a higher percentage than you might think. And then they got to go in there and do surgery and fix the intestine. And do I really want them to do this? Okay, let's see. Boris the Spider. I'd rather. No, I'm not reading that. Boris and Tasha. Jeez. How did Doctor Who get into the conversation? Sonic. I don't know what all that is. Okay, what do we have? Another little light? Where's that little yellow light? You know the light I mean?
Through the trash.
No.
Because you like it too much.
I need a little light.
Okay.
I thought it might be handy, but it's not handy. Okay, it's not handy. So I don't have a little light.
Why? What do you need it for?
Oh, somebody asked me about the sockets. I don't remember who it was. It's light? Like scrolled way past.
Isn't your light in your bag right there?
No, it's over there, and I can't get there because there's stuff between there here. So anyway, somebody asked me about these. Cobalt calls them universals, but they're you just can't see in there. It's so dark in there. Somebody asked about these sockets. I don't remember who it was now. But there they are. Yeah, I do have a set of those. Jeez. Sarah says, you have two choices with the doctor.
Guys.
Just scope in the back door or mouth, and trust me, when they pull it out, it leaves a bad taste. Oh, man.
You guys are weird.
I was in the hospital in, when was that? 07? And I was in ICU, and I had, like, stuff hooked to both arms and tube down into my stomach through my nose and everything, just hooked up to everything. I was so sick of it. And I finally got to the point where they're going to pull the thing out of my stomach that goes in through my nose. And the nurse told me she's going to take it out. And I said, "You're my favorite nurse." And she goes, "Oh, everybody hates this. You're going to hate the taste and the smell and everything when it comes out." I said, "I don't care. I'm going to be so happy to have that out." And she pulled it out, and it was easy compared to having it in there. And I said, "Yeah, you're my favorite nurse." And there were 3 nurses in there, and they were all laughing. Oh, man. I don't ever want to be all tied up in like that with all these IVs and, oh, man, and a pinchy thing on my finger for a week. Yeah. One night, I took that thing off my finger because of pinching my finger, just bothering me, you know. And a nurse from there's an office right there, and I see she came running and goes, "Put that thing back on your finger right now." She was pretty, what would you call it? pretty intense personality. The other nurses used to call her Sergeant Nurse, but you know, she knew what she was doing. Okay, let's see. Go ahead. Oh, Shaquille's here. Hello, Kim and Buff. Spline drive. That's right, Sayers. Spline drive were originally invented for aircraft mechanics to lighten the load when we started converting the metric. Oh, is that what they were for? I don't know. I got this set. It's just like I didn't really know what they're for, but I bought a set, and I noticed you can use them on. They call them. I mean, these are cobalts, and they call them universal sockets because they can be used on all kinds of different stuff. Yeah, they are kind of like cheater sockets, aren't they? I don't know. I've got them. I don't even know if I've ever used them. I bet they've never been off this. They look clean. They look perfect. I bet they've never been off this thing. But they're in my... See, I like tools. I even like tools that sometimes I don't use. Okay, raining slant success. Cylinder head because the... Man, I can't keep up with this.
Here you go. Show them that.
Oh, jeez. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm okay, Kim. I got
pull.
Issues here. I don't want to just pull because I'll mow.
I'm telling
I'll
you,
mow all that stuff right off the table.
You made me lose it.
I made you lose it.
I lost it completely. Okay, let me see. There it is, right there. Okay, that right there is the biggest inconsistency.
Oh, look at that. That's not much at all.
That's the biggest one I've found so far, people. And then that would be between the cylinder head port and the going out to the exhaust manifold. So we do not want there to be a lip there, but if any porting would be done, it would be to the exhaust manifold. To the
exhaust manifold, right there.
And you see, that's just a very, very mild little chamfer. There you go. I looked at 2 or 3 of them, and they're all pretty much the same as that. So that's your biggest gain. That's your biggest chance for gain, is to port your exhaust manifold or maybe use headers.
And Tommy Hanlon's here, 4:10 a.m. Yep.
So it's a very marginal improvement.
Because Tommy's he's in Ireland. What's this Dean Stevenson saying? Bad Buff. But your O2 readings cannot draw. Oh, it's because that O2 thing on my finger. Yeah, I took it off. Every once in a while, since I've been a little kid, my heart once in a while goes kind of a little irregularity. My father had the same thing. So that happened when I was in that ICU, and that woman that everybody called Sergeant Nurse, my heart went to I felt it. She came running in. She's got her face right down, and she goes, "Where's the pain? Where's the pain? Tell me where the pain is." I said, "There's no pain. There's no pain." Tell her what happened. She goes, "But where's the pain?" I go, "There's no." I think she was afraid she was gonna lose a patient. She didn't want that on her shift, man. But she caught that right off, you know. Tommy says, "Oh no, endoscopy again." No. Borescope. That spline is in the groove, or is it the groove? Okay. See, I will have to send Kim and Buff a teeny Turner screwdriver. One-eyed cat, easy cleanup. 2 thumbs up. Danny Boyd, stupid daylight savings time. Oh, when's that end? Ooh, when does that end? Is that tonight?
No, is it?
I don't know. I hate all that stuff. See, that's something I really liked about Arizona. They never change. Same thing in Hawaii. They never change. We just stayed the same. Well, in Hawaii, it doesn't make any difference. You're close enough to the equator that if you change, it wouldn't make any difference, or some tiny amount. And Arizona, they're on what they call Arizona time, which is mountain time. In the wintertime, and then it's Pacific time in the when everybody else is on daylight time. So they just stay on the same time. You never change it. But they call it, like on a computer, you'll look and it'll show it as a separate time zone. It'll say Arizona time. Oh, November 3rd. It's November 3rd in the States. I always thought it was before Halloween, but I guess they don't do Halloween at night anymore. We've already moved to daylight. Oh man, when I was traveling to Russia, had daylight time, but it wasn't the same dates. So there's like 2 weeks difference. So the airlines had have a whole new schedule for that 2 weeks that we changed, but they didn't, or they changed. I don't remember which way it was. But there was like a 2 week period of time in there that was completely different. And then they had to change all airline schedules again. I bet they tear their hair out with that stuff. It's a screwdriver that I had peak design for me. It's the world's smallest multi-bit screwdriver. It's named after me. It's made in Canada. Okay. Cause photographic color degradation. The extra hour of daylight fades the paint. Don't want any extra paint fade. Blue Grit, how you doing? Glad you're all right. When I was in the ER with my mom and her blood pressure dropped to where she was blacking out, the nurses never came in. Oh man. Oh, this nurse just rushed right in there. I don't like being in a hospital. I mean, they've always taken good care of me because when I've been in, I don't go to the hospital unless it's something, ambulance takes me in because I have to go. But the times I've been in there, they've always taken care of me well. But I don't really like being there. Man. Don Williams and later Eric Clapton. I'm looking over here to see drop frames 0. Okay, I thought we dropped some frames. I don't like to see that.
No, we're doing good tonight.
Well, yeah, I think because I've left the fan on that thing. We used to have it end of October till the first Sunday in March. Now it's been extended to start October to the end of March. You need to also describe an X at the center of all the other stud holes where you didn't drill out the plexi to have a stud hold down the plexiglass. You can use a compass or 5/16 inch transfer. Oh, Tim's here, Buff. Did you go to Moscow when you're... No, I did not. I was in the St. Petersburg area, and I went out to some small towns east of St. Petersburg, a place called Volkov. Well, actually, 3 different places that were kind of... One northeast of St. Petersburg, which was Sevolsk, and then a place called Volkov and a place called Tikhvin. And you can see those on the map. They're in the Leningradskaya Oblast. They were all in the Leningradskaya Oblast, which is like the region around.
I gotta hit this with a hammer a couple times.
The region around St. Petersburg, which used to be Leningrad. In Russia, every man is engineer.
Sorry.
Bang, bang, bang. Kim's making noise.
Somebody inverted all these stampings. Get them fixed. 3 more.
3 more?
I gotta hit him now before I paint. Okay, I'm done.
She's done. Yeah, my ears are ringing. Sorry about that. Yeah, but it's a shop, Sarah says, well, bedtime. Y'all have an awesome week.
Thanks
Love
for
y'all.
coming in.
Kim's yelling from back over there. Thanks for coming in. Mike Piotr. Mike N., how you doing? Let's see here. The beatings will continue until morale improves.
That's right.
That's Dave the Rave says that.
That's correct, Dave. That's how it works. You're not going to be happy. We'll give you something to cry about.
Okay. I think we need a bigger hammer 9. Okay, I'm trying to catch up to this. I'm sorry. The only good thing there was Subway's tubes. In Russia, that's the best thing that came out of the communist times were the
transportation.
They didn't call them subways, they call them metro, but man, those things are incredible. Probably all slave labor, but you know they're arrows. That went away.
Are you in the mood to work on anything, or are you enjoying just?
I don't know. I'm enjoying doing this, but I
it's
could. Why?
Real
What
busy
do you?
Chat tonight.
Yeah, it's real busy chat. What?
Thanks everyone for being here and contributing.
I'm not keeping up very well, but okay.
That's okay.
Zuzu Impulse. I know what happened. We turned the heat off.
Oh, go ahead, turn it back on.
I'm sitting. My nose is starting to run. I'm feeling cold. It's like, what's wrong?
Move it closer.
I'm like, oh yeah, the heat. No, it'll that warmth right there just kind of circulate up around me. Oops, was answering a comment there. I didn't see what screen I was typing. Okay.
Did somebody comment on a different stream?
Oh man, I used to do that, be in 2 different streams, and of course,
say dumb stuff.
I was in one time, but I was also in another one, and the same guy was in. We were both watching 2 of them, and there was one conversation going on in one about airplanes and flying and everything, and the other one was nothing about airplanes, and the guy we were talking about weight and balance in the airplane one, and he types in there, "I'm a big fat bastard." he put it in the wrong chat that had nothing to do with airplanes, and everybody's going, "Are you okay?"
Okay, well, thanks for your input there.
Because we were talking about the weight and balance and how it would be off on the airplane he was flying if he were in the back seat. He just types that into the wrong chat. It's funny as hell. I mean, how do you explain that one?
I mean, I understood just now.
Oh, Mike N says Nissan Pulsar. I like the Pulsar. Did you like the one that had the little? It had a removable hardtop, and then it had a little station wagon top on the back of it. I've got one of those station wagon tops here because I always wanted one of the cars. So I bought the top, and I never bought the car. I'm seriously good at multitasking. It's one thing at a time, yeah. Punch makes circular scribe marks so you can see all the locations of the studs that aren't drilled through. Plexi, now you can take the plexi and use it as a see-through template. And there's more.
I understand, and it sounds like an incredibly accurate, high-precision way to port match. But what application requires this level of...
This engine is so much better than it was. And you saw the worst spot in there. It was the early 90s model, I think. Is that the one they had? The taillights were like angular looking slots. That's the one I liked. It was a little front driver car, but it was kind of a sports car, and they made the little wagon top, and I really liked that. And I bought a wagon top for next to nothing up in Ohio, brought it down here, and now it's here in my back behind the shop here. You see it yet? I only do auto or yeah, okay, Mike. Yeah, I remember those real well. I always wanted one, but now they're gone. Trying to find one of those that's good. For 15, 20 years ago, that's what I'd be looking for right now. But if I ever get paid for my car, we're at the The checks in the mail syndrome. They sent it, I don't have it. The check's in the mail. If I ever get that mail and put the check in the bank, I'll go buy a car. And I'll probably buy a Fox Body Fairmont. Likely to be a Fox Body Fairmont. I got some throat issues. You know, I take one prescription for blood pressure that works quite well, which is why I like it. But it gives my throat gets a little dry. So that's why I'm always messing these cough drops. These cough drops with no sugar in them. Tim says worked on the truck today. Fuel line stuff. It's getting cold real quick up here. Man, that's the thing I don't like is when it starts cooling off and I've still got cars outside. I'm so happy to have the shop. And last year we put it's been over a year now, we put the wood stove in here. Man, is that nice, because we can work in here all winter, and it's
it can be
it's
30
warm
degrees
enough
outside, and it's still warm enough in here once we get it going.
with the wood stove going. Sometimes we struggle to keep it at 60 Fahrenheit in here.
Yeah, but it feels warm compared to outside.
But I'll double up on the sweatshirts like I do tonight. I got 2 sweatshirts on, and I'll wear a pair of sweats under my jeans. And I'll be comfortable in here. But I do. But the year before we couldn't work in here. We come up here, just freeze.
And I did some videos outside last year working on that Bronco. I was outside, remember? Man, it was cold. It was so cold.
Mike N says keep moving south, and I did. I moved from Ohio to here, but then I spent all that time in Arizona. You know, I was chasing work all over the place. Spent a lot of that time in Arizona, and I got used to that real quick. Came back here. This felt warm when I moved from Ohio, but after Arizona, Arizona changed my life, man. It's just always warm. You know, it's nice, and a cold day there is like 50 Fahrenheit. You know, which is not very cold. Yes, Dougster says yes. The weather is getting cooler. Better check the radiator in the Super Beetle. Check the radiator in the Super Beetle.
He's making a joke.
Yeah, I'm thinking you have one of those.
It's a Volkswagen Airport.
There was one that ran around in I think it's where I lived in Ohio.
Yeah.
It could have been in Sharon, Pennsylvania, or it could have been in Ohio. And it was a Volkswagen Beetle that had a Chevy engine up front. And he just didn't have the hood goes down like that. Just didn't have a hood on it. You see Chevy engine out there with a radiator and a fan and engine-driven fan and driving the back wheels. I don't know what frame it was on. Obviously, it was not a Volkswagen Pan. Tavo says 83 degrees Fahrenheit here today. Summer will be along soon. Man, I wish I could just fly down there. Be there for summer. Try Houston or New Orleans. No, Houston is like New Orleans. It's just the humidity is horrible. What is all this, Dean Stevenson? Metrics for JB's little shop. I got something in my eye. Ugh. Probably some like a backwards eyelash or something. It's kind of like what it felt like. Pencil techie. Humidity sucks, yeah. Like in Arizona, it'd be 122, which is what, 50 C, and it's it's 10% humidity. It's not that bad. I mean, you'd knock the crap out of you if you're working. So you have to kind of take it easy and get in the shade and drink a lot of water. But Dave the Rave, 90 here in South Texas today. Where are you in South Texas? Could be. I mean, I used to drive from exit 0 on I-10, which is on the other side of on the west side of El Paso, to Texarkana routinely a lot, and I think it was 918 miles. So South Texas can be over quite an expanse. '90 in Baton Rouge as well. Is Barrows still out here? Don't know, Barrows, you here? Dougster says seen a 70 Beetle with a 350 Chevy in back seat with a transaxle. You flip. Yeah, I remember those things. Guys put Corvairs in them. Back when I was a kid, you always see Miners Manx dune buggies with Corvairs. Corvairs driving a Volkswagen transaxle. But he says it's warm 34 in Massachusetts. One-eyed cat. Global warming. I'm beginning to believe it's a thing. Oh, you're near Corpus Christi. Man. There's a place I used to go down near there. Try to pull the name up out of my brain. Gotta pull up my phone, look at my map, because my mind can't always pull names up. Well, there's a place called Pharr, Texas, which is Pharr, which is not too far from where you are. Pharr is not too far from where you are. But that's where I'd stay, but I would actually go to another place.
Where are we going to Texas?
We're not going. This is where I used to go down and get my medication, which is not too far from where...
Do you not teach them to buy their medication from Mexico?
Not too far from where Dave the Rave is. She doesn't like that I used to do that, but I do it.
Don't tell them to do that.
Okay, don't do it, but you know, if you're near there, people do that.
I think it's
Nuevo Progreso.
I think it's near criminal that people in the United States should have to go to Mexico to get their medical treatment, and that it's cheaper in Mexico
and the service more
accessible.
And the service was great.
I think that's criminal that our system is that bad.
I'm on the round part at the bottom. Dean Stevenson, I think he's talking about what part of the earth he's on. I'm not sure. Or is he talking about, I don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, Barrow says somebody talking ratty bug. That's right up my alley. See here, south of the border meds. Yeah, well, there's real meds south of the border. I mean, you know, you go into those little border towns, there's like 7, 8, 9, 10 pharmacies, like within a block walking distance, and doctors and eye clinics and all those kind of places. And when I lived right on the border, I made use of those because it was so much easier to deal with than on the American side of the border. And you know, doctors have their diplomas hung up. Almost all of them are from universities in the U.S. The medication would usually be brand names that you recognize, but they're made in Mexico. I don't know. Did that for a long time, but it's 1,100 miles now to get to the Mexican border for me. So I'm back to going to the doctor here. I've been using the welder. Barrow suggested works really good. A Harbor Freight Titanium 200 Unlimited. Makes a difference having a good welder. Hey, Kim, what's your Harbor Freight welder? Titanium something, isn't it?
Unlimited one. It's right here. It's, unlimited 140.
Okay, she's got the unlimited 140. Okay, so yours a 200. So that's a 220 or a 240 or whatever it is. Big power instead of little power. Oh, Dean Stevens said an ice wall reference. Buddy Carafano, I'd rather have a Carmen Ghia than an Overbug. Yeah, me too. I like Carmen Ghias. Kim and I were driving, I don't know, it was a few months ago, we were driving along and a Carmen Ghia passed us. I'm like, hey, look at that. And the one I really like are the ones that are the Myers-Manx dune buggies, which of course are on a Volkswagen Beetle chassis, short.
Well, you see a lot of those around here in Tennessee.
Oh, you see. Wait till you see them in Arizona. I mean, you know, all those vehicles, those little buggies and sand rails, all people drive them on the street, and it's legal. And the Myers-Manx dune buggies, you see those, although not so many as there used to be. I'm guessing as long as you get one that makes enough power, they're nearly good like a Miller or whatever. Yeah, I have. Well, mine's built by Miller, but it's a, what is that? It's a Hobart. Carmen Ghia is probably the best looking VW ever. I had a friend that had a Carmen Ghia. Rode in it sometimes. Pharaoh says, I've always wanted a Ghia or a squareback, but finding one in good shape is tough. Man, I remember squarebacks everywhere. And then some fastbacks around, but I remember Volkswagen squarebacks were... Like when I had my first radiator shop, just Beetles and squarebacks everywhere. If you go out in any street, you see one go by, you know.
Volkswagens are just a plot by Big Air to put radiators out of business.
And Volkswagens, of course, they
Facts.
started...
That's not a conspiracy, that's real.
They started putting radiators in Volkswagens because they started putting engines up front. And then the Mexican ones have a radiator up front that the buses, like in the U.S., that were air-cooled rear-engine buses. In Mexico, they've got the Rabbit engine in the back and a radiator up front, you know, like a little thing, like an attachment on the front. Look at Mexican Specs, his Instagram, and you go through all the cars he has listed there, and you'll see several Volkswagen buses that have a radiator attachment on the front. That was factory. Really strange. Yeah, Hobart. Isn't Hobart? I'm sure they're made by Miller, aren't they? I mean, they might be marketed by a company that's, I don't know, but I think they're a Miller unit. I bought the Hobart because we had a Hobart at work, and I really liked it. It was a 110 volt Hobart that was 140 amp, and I was in a Tractor Supply one day getting something for work, and they had a stack of those things sitting there on sale, and I think they were $397, something like that. I picked one up right there, bought it, put it in my car. It's the one I have here right now, but they're like double that now. Works on 110 or 220. I like the gas bottle. Oh yeah. Now Kim uses the flux core, and it has its advantage. Like don't need the gas bottle, but I run with the gas bottle. Hobart makes good industrial-sized mixers for school cafeterias. What? Is that, they make something else too, I guess, or a different company that's Hobart? Back in the 90s, we had a 68 squareback for a little while. Dual carbs, it was fun. But still survived. Only other air-cooled I'd want is a second-gen Corvair. I like all the Corvairs. I like them all. I really like them all. You know what's really good about the first gen is they had that little Lakewood station wagon. I love those things. I don't know why. Oh, and of course the van, the Greenbrier vans and the what do they call them? Corvair 95. God, my father almost bought a Greenbrier van for the family car, but they were just winding down the production on it, and they came out with that Chevy van, the first one that had the thing right between the seats with a 6-cylinder engine in it. And he bought that thing. I thought it was ugly, terrible looking car, but I got used to it because I thought the Greenbrier was pretty good looking wagon. What is this? Dean Stevenson. I love this Fairmont Squire with mock Fossil Vega HK 500 dashboard paint on the sides. Wait a minute. What is this? Is that's I'm not sure what you're talking about there. It's a different company name, Hobart. Yeah, that's what I thought. Hobart Mixer. I started thinking, I remember seeing like mixers and stuff, but you know what? I don't know much about that kind of equipment. Squareback. Oh yeah, they had the 412, the big Type 4 Volkswagen. How about that squareback gas air? Two air-cooled VW engines gang together. Don't know about that. That little titanium 200 was the best thing I ever bought from Harbor Freight. Stick MIG TIG flux, 110 or 220, and I pushed it well beyond duty without a hitch. Yeah, how's it work for TIG? Kim says that thing is supposed to be good for TIG, but we've never done any of that. She just uses it for the flux. And then I've got my Hobart that's MIG with the gas, so we just use that. We don't do anything else with hers. My family had the exploding wagon. Hey, the wagons didn't do that. Fuel system on the wagon was pretty good. It was a little coupe, but Ford fixed it. And when you look at what happened, it was a little tiny Pinto. Ford just got unlucky. If it'd been any other little tiny car sitting there making a left turn, and a second-gen Camaro hit it going 70 miles an hour, it probably would have had a fire. If it'd been a Toyota or a Vega or anything else that was tiny. I had bunches of Pinto wagons, and I never worried about the fuel system. My wife has a Owen Beetle, and we kept her 99 diesel Beetle. It's a beater, but gets 50 miles a gallon. Yeah, I knew a lot of people I just don't like diesels a lot. But, yeah. I know there are a lot. In fact, I just saw when I'm looking for cars, and I showed Kim. I said, hey, look at this. It was a, one of those diesel Rabbit pickups, little pickup truck for sale. Dr. Go, how you doing? I was checking out all those Harbor Freight welders you mentioned. Everything had its purpose. Right now I want to weld 3/8-inch aluminum, but budget won't allow. Maybe cheaper to have shop do it. Okay, wait a minute, Dr. Go, with 3/8. I de-spool it. Yeah, spool. I don't know how much power you need for that. And the only spool I ever used was it was on a Miller 350 amp big ass machine. But I don't know, it's just it was an industrial machine where I worked. What's a 40917X Ford Fairmont station wagon? Don't know what that is. But 100% argon isn't cheap. Oh, doesn't know what spool is. Spool, it's a gun that has a big spool of wire on the gun, and it's aluminum. So it doesn't feed the aluminum from way back somewhere from the machine. It's on a spool gun, and it's right there. I think that's what he's talking about. What do you cover a Mustang with gas tank is trunk floor? Oh yeah, I agree with that. All those cars, the Falcon, the Mustang, the early Fairlanes, all those cars that had the springs on the top up front, they all had a drop-in gas tank. You undo the perimeter bolts from inside the trunk, you lift it out, and you can see the ground. And those things are especially bad if somebody puts a battery in their trunk, and the battery flips over and the terminals hit that. And it gets hot. Once attempted to change starter, one of them early new Beetles, could not figure out how to get it. I don't know much about those new Beetles. I rode in one a few weeks ago, and it was a really nice car. But I don't really like newer German cars because of the just the complexity and the cost of the parts. Just like every other newer car, except worse when it comes to price of pieces and parts and bits. Pinto is no more dangerous than other cars. History of Fires was trumped into a suit. Yeah, it's good. You get a Pinto sitting still and gets rear-ended by a second-gen Camaro going 70 miles an hour. You know who was the real problem there? The driver of the Camaro. But they didn't have any money compared to Ford. Although Ford did improve it. Ford put a longer filler neck that went down inside the tank because the sides of the car would pooch out like this. You'd hit from the back, the car would bend down and back and pooch out, and it'd pull the filler neck out of the tank. So Ford lengthened the recall. They lengthened that filler neck tube, and then they put a nylon shield between the gas tank and the differential. So if the gas tank went into the differential wouldn't, the sharp edges on the casting wouldn't cut the tank open. So, I mean, something good came out of it, I guess. And I drank Beast Ice tonight, and now I'm getting little, I don't know what that is. Kim, what is Beast Ice? Dr. Go, thanks for explaining pool.
Beast
Spool.
Ice.
Yeah, look up, just Dr. Go on, like, Google Images and look up, like, Miller, spool gun, aluminum spool gun. That's a big, I'll tell you what, that's a big piece of industrial equipment. You probably don't want to do that, buy that for one weld.
Yeah.
What, buddy? I'm lost something here. Oh yeah, okay, I caught that. Very same. If you leave every second tooth unwelded, you can have partial differential accent. Yeah, you'll have you have to have a flower in the flower pot. Not sure what that is. Anti-strike plate of the LDPE made of rim. Anti-strike plate, is that what it was called? And it was LDPE. I always thought it was nylon, but maybe it wasn't. Oh, Milwaukee's best ice. Oh, not Beast Ice, Best Ice. Okay. He's drinking enough that he spells Best Ice with B, put an E-A in it. Let's see. Danny boy, I wish I'd bought Miller. Now, are you talking about beer or are you talking about a welder? Ice beer does not agree with me. Oh, Olive says, Olive's still here. Ice beer does not agree with me. You know, the one beer that I used to really like was that Bud had was, what the heck was it? Was it Bud Ice? Might have been Bud Ice. There was
I don't know,
one
I
that
don't
was
know
really good.
beers.
There was one they really made. They made it was really good, and they quit making it.
Some do it probably not.
Does it have Miss?
So
What if
who
it's
won at
8?
spades?
Yeah, who won at spades?
Are they
Oh,
still
I
here?
haven't seen Don or Wendy in here in a while. Michelob Ultra now. Okay, let's go back to this now. Danny Boyd, I really want probably a welder. The Titanium 200 is a AC TIG with striker torch. Oh, okay, that's why it's a TIG. Yeah, I've never welded with a striker torch.
This has a TIG.
That's a striker torch. Okay, not good for aluminum, but chromoly, it does okay on DC TIG with control arc is much better setup. Yeah, see, I've used TIG machines with a pedal, and I've used TIG machines with the wheel up here. I really prefer the wheel, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people prefer the pedal. But I've watched guys doing position welds, and they got their foot way out here pushing on the pedal, and they're up here. I don't know how they can do that. And I've watched other guys doing position welds that have the little thumb wheel here, or the little push thing. And I really prefer that. It took me like 5 minutes to get used to it, and it's like, man, I like that. Although once in a while, those things, the ones with the little wheel, the Miller machines that had the little wheel, those things once in a while would give us a little bit of trouble, and you get a pretty good shock from them when they start to wear out. But Cat had been checking in on me. Got a TIG by the tail. Kim, what you doing? She's over there
Clean up valves.
cleaning up valves. Okay.
I'm almost done.
She said she's almost done. Dean Stevenson, I got 350 heads on a 305. What? Man, I wish my check would come out of the mail. Tired of it. Check's in the mail. I want money in my account so I can buy a car. It's been a month, and what's today? The 26th, 27th? Been a month and 5 days since I had a car. Man. Then they rented me a car for 10 days, but I couldn't take it because I had to pay the insurance, and the rental company wanted $30 a day, 10 days of $300 for insurance. It's like, I can't do that. Danny Boyd, I'm a losing weight and a turning mighty pale. Barrows, I use the thumb control as well. It's out on Miller-Matic, and my work pays for the argon and the time. I make everything. Oh, I make everything I can too. I make everything I can. I have a TIG machine here, a Miller TIG machine, but I never use it because, TIG is both hands, and it's got the little thumb. It's like a trigger that's on the top, and you push it. It's kind of like the thumb wheel, but it's a little different. But you got to use both hands, and you got to be coordinated with both hands. And my left hand is it's a lot shaky sometimes. It's a little shaky other times, and that just doesn't work when I'm trying to TIG. It's just it's age thing, I guess. Miller-Matic, Stevenson, Zip City. I wish I could have purchased an old welder from high school when they built new shops, and I got no equipment. That was decades ago. Yeah, you know how many times I've missed opportunities. I look back at something, I go, man, I shoulda. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Oh, there's so many cars I shoulda had or shoulda kept. I sold them, and I look back and I go, man, I thought I was doing well because I made $100 or $200. I'm like, I'd give that $200 back in a second to have that car. Dean's singing again.
Dean.
So what do we got here, Kim?
Lapping valves.
A lapping compound.
Took their advice. I got a piece of rubber tube.
Oh, so you got rubber tube now to use the... Oh, so you're going to go like this?
Mm-hmm.
Buck Owens. Oh, man. Oh, did you move this?
Yeah.
Yeah, because my back is getting hot and my front is getting cold.
Move it around. It's close to me.
Okay, I'm just moving it back a little bit. Danny Boydster and I are carousing.
Hey! Carousing?
Yeah, there's a couple of those I wish I would have bought something.
We might have a policy against carousing here. I don't know. I guess it's okay.
You guess it's okay?
I guess it's okay.
Oh, you put a little oil on that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that even sounds good now.
Mm-hmm.
Saw an article about Woodstock. I still didn't see me in any of the pictures. There's like, or are there like 1 million people there? There I am, down in there I am. Is Kim going to do some valve lapping?
Sure
Did I miss anything earlier?
Oh,
Yeah, okay, let's see. What did you miss? You missed, were you here for the inspecting the ports, port matching, all that stuff? Were you here for the, I don't know. There was a lot. Olive says, I'm quite sleepy. I think I'll have a try at early bed. Maybe back. Have a good night. You can carol us together in one, or corral, I don't know what that is.
Correct.
Us together in one place until we sober up. Dean, you drinking something too? I'm drinking, but I was drinking. I'm going to make a mixed drink. My mixed drinks are, whatever this stuff is. See, what I do is I take a water. Dean says to Olive, we'll be behaving, awaiting your re-arrival. Okay, so this is what I do. This is a mixed
in the nicest way possible. I hope you don't come back tonight. Thanks for being here.
Oh, yeah, we hope you get a good night's sleep is what she's saying. Now we don't want you to be here.
Yeah.
So I take this stuff, and I use the scissors, and this stuff is Dad's old-fashioned root, oh, it's not root beer. It's Dad's old-fashioned cream soda flavor, and I pour this flavor in this water. And it doesn't mix up very good. So then I screw the top on it. Ooh, I don't think that top's on there right. There. And then I shake this up. It is leaking a little, but that makes the water flavored. So that's my mixed drink. And I don't drink much, but when Dan Boy is singing, I'm not stopped. I don't drink much either. That's a joke I used to tell. I don't drink much because I spill most of it. I remember the rain and mud at Woodstock, but the incredible music and no trouble there. Man, I remember all that. All that. I didn't go there, but I remember the record albums and everything. Oh man, Country Joe and the Fish. You remember this? You remember the song, Country Joe and the Fish. And my sister, who was younger than me, so she was about 12 or 13, she bought that album, was playing it on my father's stereo, Country Joe and the Fish. My father, he was a guy that never said no foul language. And he heard that, he flipped out.
What was wrong with Country Joe and the fish?
Give me an F.
Oh, okay. I get it. I already know where it's going.
You know where that's going. And my dad heard that
Like,
on his stereo in his living room. Oh, man. Tim says, yep, wasn't everybody there? I was not there. I was in California. That's a long ways away. Dr. Gold, my earphone batteries are dying, so I may have to check out. Just go to... Oh, you probably can't put it on a big speaker somewhere.
thank you for stopping in.
Yeah, don't just... Yeah, he may go, but he didn't say he's going yet. You see, so did my mom. We invited her to a party, and when you feed your biological mother red wine and she starts behaving like Dean when he's 18, well, it was funny. This is kind of good stuff. Kim, it sounds like you're filing, but I know you're not. You're
Nope, I'm just doing
you're lapping.
a really gentle lap on the intake valves because I've disturbed them so much. I just want to seat them in nice, but the seats are pretty good, so I'm gonna lap them all and then I'm gonna clean them and inspect them. Hopefully, I don't have to do any additional lapping. Just get them all at once. I'm not even cleaning the lapping compound off the valves because in case I have to throw them back in and lap a little more, but.
Danny Boyd was 3 years old, Woodstock. When was Woodstock? What year? 69?
It was before
Not
my
sure.
time.
Yeah, I was in probably what they call middle school now, junior high, maybe high school.
Wow, you're too young for Woodstock, and they're still talking.
69, that's what I thought. Okay, I was 15. 69 years old, or 69, 1969. I was 15.
Oh, we're way better than Chrysler quality on this six, son. Dean Stevenson says Chrysler quality. Oh man,
But this is much better. I know fanatics and you're wanting a little bit of port matching, but really it's pretty darn good. And this is way better than the Slant 6 ever was out of the factory. So
I wasn't really trying to tell him that it wasn't something that you should consider, but I just this one is close enough.
You've reached your limit on how far you're going with this engine. Yep.
Well, no, as we looked, and there's not a lot to be gained. If there was a big lip in there, I'd stop doing what I'm doing and do it. I was a result of... All right, now. Probably, though.
Okay, Raining Slant 6 says, oil filter mounting adapter with the press-in standpipe with the anti-drain back disc and anti-drain back compression spring inside the standpipe. A lot of folks don't know about the anti-drain back.
You know what? I didn't look to see if it was still in there. We can pull that out, though, and have a look. I forgot about the anti-drain back. You know what, though? Most filters have an anti-drain back
as well.
Yeah, feature to them. Most filters, because it was a good idea, so they integrated it. Even the junk filters have the anti-drain back for the most part.
So, Raining Slant 6. Man, did I look for that channel? I looked for several channels.
Yeah, there was no... I don't think he has a channel.
Do you have a channel, or do you have...
That's just
tell me a little about what you do with Slant 6s. It sounds like you really know your stuff,
Yeah, clearly he has.
And I just wonder what your
expertise. Or does he have I don't know, maybe.
Or maybe working in a machine shop where he's working on a lot of slants, or maybe he has a bunch of them, or maybe he has a channel. I don't know. It's like if you got a channel, I'm gonna go there and start binge watching. Same cubic inches as my 58 Vauxhall. 69 plus 69, 138 cubic inches. Yeah, see, I thought it was 69, but I didn't want to say 69. It was, took you a day or two to get out of there. I had to park about 2 miles down the road. See, I remember all that going on, but I couldn't remember exactly when it was. But yeah, I was 15 years old then. Yeah, no, it was completely at the other end of the country from me. You know, I was in Central California, right on the coast. I'm 15 years old with responsibilities. I had 2 jobs then. 2 jobs, and I don't know what time of year it was. Summer, I guess. So I had 2 jobs. Worked in a bicycle shop, and I had a paper route. I was pretty good at saving money. Pretty good at spending a little of it, but mostly I saved it. That's how I got my first car. When I was 16, 1970, I bought a 64 Ford Galaxy. I bought a 6-year-old car, and it was my money. You had a 64 Galaxy then. That's what I had, a 64 Galaxy. I got mine in 1970. And the deal with my parents in California, insurance was 1 year at a time. It wasn't a 6-month thing like a lot of states. So the deal my parents made with me was I could have a driver's license and I could have a car if I paid for the car and if I paid for a year's insurance. So for 3 years, time I was 13, 14, 15, and partway into the 16th year, I saved money and I bought a 64 Ford and paid for a year's insurance. And the night I got the driver's license, I drove that car to a gas station and I put $4.38 worth of gas in it, and I was penniless. Took the last $4.38 and put it in the gas tank, and it didn't quite fill it up. You would have a hard time getting $5 of gas in that car then. And so it was almost full. Could have gone to Monterey Pop in 67. 67, I was 13. My parents had reins on me. I was 100 miles south of Monterey. About. My dad had a 64 Galaxy 500 2-door hardtop when I was born. That's Danny Boyd. Blue Grit. Blue Grit.
Welcome to stream, Blue Grit Garage. Oh, were you already here?
Was he here earlier? I'm not sure. I see him a lot, but he's been pretty quiet if he was here. My 4.6 has a drain back issue. I crank it with the pedal to the floor so it won't fire, then let off the gas after 6 or so revolutions to build oil pressure. Okay, yeah, because your carb it's carbureted, I guess. Oh, I don't know. Wait a minute, I crank it
with the choke wide open.
If I crank it with the pedal to the floor. I had a great time there. This is Tim. I had a great time there. I didn't get wasted. It was great being with everyone and listening to music till the rainstorm, but it was still fun. So Blue Grit, talking about rainstorms. You remember walking out to the burnout contest at No Name Nationals? Kim and I mean, it rained. Oh, man, it rained. We turned around. We got soaked. I mean, we were just, like, we got in the shower with our clothes on. So we went back to the hotel and got dried out, got something to eat.
Yeah, and then we heard
they had a pretty good, they were able to dry the area off and had the burnout contest anyway. And I think Blue Grit went the other direction, went up there and participated in the burnout contest. And we went to the hotel.
We were like, nope, that's enough.
We wussed out.
We were tired already. It was a reach for us to try and do that. And then when it was raining on us, we were like,
Oh, I see. He says it's fuel-injected 07 Grand Marquis 4.6 liter. Okay, so when you hold it wide open, it knows not to start, or I don't really know why it would do that. I don't know the system well enough. Parts. That's on keeping it at the end of something here. Rating Slant 6. That's why back in the day, 57 or so, when designed, they didn't have anti-drain back flap in the oil filters. When you buy the modern replacement,
Yeah, they got the plastic.
cat iron oil pumps, they don't come with, oh, I see, the new ones don't come with it. Yeah, because that's what I always say. That's back in the day when they designed it. 57 or so. I always wondered when they started on it. It was like, man, that's quite a project. Think about what they had. Of course they done some V8s, but I mean, Chrysler was running a really old-fashioned flathead 6, and they went to this. This was really something. And I'm thinking they probably worked on that for several years before, it was in production in 59. So it was probably 55, 6, 7, 8. Just can't even imagine. That video that Blake did was great. Flood mode. Montrose Festival in 71. Dean Stevenson says something stupid with a flare gun. Russ got soaked too, hot rod guy. This 66, this is Blue Grit, the 66 ran good at the burnout contest. Only problem is when I hit the wet grass, it would cool off the tires and stifle the smoke, yeah. Sorry, Blake was in the back seat with the dirty hippie.
Oh, right, he made a video
when he was doing the burnout. Oh, okay. No name nationals is like there's such a build up to it. It's a whole year-long build up to the thing, and you get ready with stuff. You still we end up in a hurry at the end with little issues. I don't know how we do that. And I get the point where I don't even want to go because it's such a long drive and I'm exhausted from the whole thing. And then when I get there, it's like, oh man, I'm so happy to be
at Disney World.
I'm so happy to be there. It's like, okay, I know that. I'm going. So I've been to all three of them. Oh, so is Kim. I met Kim at the first one. Some stupid with a flare gun burned the place to the ground. Smoke on the water, fire in the sky. Oh, that sounds good. Oh, I don't know if that sounds good. A little grindy sounding there.
There's still wrapping compound on there.
Yeah, it just sounds like it's gravel.
Well, that's how lapping compound sounds.
Either standpipe or its internal anti-drain back valve. They just give you the steel oil filter mounting adapter with coarse thread with O-ring to go in oil pump BS.
These seats look amazing. I'm not going to show you because it'll just look like black, but if you have your magnifying glass, come on over and check them out.
I'm just going to take off these. Yeah, that'll be okay.
Right?
I think so. I think it looks really good. Looks better than what I thought it was going to look. Looks way better than I thought it was going to look like. Somehow I must have missed you two last year at No Name Nationals 2023.
We were there.
We were there. We had one vehicle there. We had Kim's van with all the brightly colored stuff on one side, flat black with all stickers and autographs on the other side. And we didn't race anything. We were just there to have a good time, make videos. This time, we were going to race the this dart, but it had an oil leak that was beyond what was acceptable to us. You know, and we bought diapers, you know, what do you call those things?
Once we realized how much
Well,
was
we
leaking,
thought it was just a drip, but it was not just a drip. It was bad. So we had, you know, Kim worked on it all day Thursday, wore herself out, and then she's going to pull a pan and put a rear, what do you call it, crankshaft seal in it. And I talked her out of it. I said, you're going to spend the whole event under that car, and let's just enjoy the thing. Go over there and watch people race. And Dr. Goat took me for a ride in his car down the drag strip. You know, that was fun. And first time in my life I've ever been on drag strip. So I've done so much other stuff, but just never been down a drag strip. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, this was your third year at No Name Nationals, and this first time you were even down in the strip in a car.
Well, and John Wilbur took us out there because I'd never been on a drag strip, and he did the whole talk through. You know what all the lights do and how to stage and where all the light. You know the not the lights, Christmas tree lights, but the lights on the ground. You know where how it sees where you stage and all that, and explained the whole thing to me. And it was like, oh man, now I feel really comfortable. I'd go out there and race because I know what's going on. It's like my first time on a runway in an airplane. You know, you're kind of don't know everything, but now I feel like I could, you know, it's all makes sense. In Europe, they called the Mazda 626 the Mazda Montrose. Really? I had a 626 on my used car lot for a while. Drove it a little bit. What I remember from that car, I think maybe it wasn't that car. It wasn't that car. It was something else. Oil pump base, meant to say, and fine thread on top of adapter to spin oil filter onto. Most people will unscrew standpipe and adapter base out of old stock oil pump and maybe clean it, screw it. Obviously after the Montrose Festival. Oh, after the Rick Festival, after the Rock Festival. He's correcting himself. Oh, I see. Screw it into the new oil pump in place. Into the new oil pump in place. Tim says, I ran my 64, 69, and 70 at the tracks in northern Ohio. Which tracks? Let's see, where were you? See, I was in northeast Ohio, so there was Thompson. You know where the Thompson Speedway is? It's a drag strip out in northeast Ohio. My shop was really close to that, and it was probably a mile away, but it was just across flat fields, so if I went outside, I mean, I could hear it really well, you know, hear the cars running. Oh, see, you have been to Thompson. Oh, Norwalk. See, the Norwalk was right by the airport where I work, so I'd hear the cars running there, but I never went to Norwalk. But Thompson, I used to go out there. I had a young son then, and we'd go out there, and especially if they had jet cars or something, go out there and watch them run. But I never raced. So you went to Thompson and Norwalk. Wow. Take a 64 with a 352 and swap in a 428 from a T-Bird. You know what I put in my 64? My 64 had a 289, and I put a 351 Windsor in it. Then I pulled it out and built it and put it back in. Maybe I didn't pull it out. No, because I put the cam in it. No, I left the short block in it. So then I built it and I put it all back together in the car and ran it. And then it was pretty strong running 351 Windsor. Really liked that car. And of course the Windsors, they never had Windsors in them to begin with. But I always wanted to put it. See, I had 56 and 57 Fords, and we used to take 390s, the early 390s, and we'd bore them 80 thousandths and put 406 pistons in them. So then they'd be a 406 cubic inches. So I kind of wanted to do that to the 64, but I ended up with that 351, and I thought I'd use this. I was so happy with it, I just ran it like that forever. And then when the engine got screwed up, there's a whole story behind that. But anyway, oil pressure issue, and I messed the engine up. And I put a Cleveland in it, just like a 2-barrel Cleveland to drive the car. And I got rid of the car with a Cleveland in it. But it was not a fast Cleveland. Oh, what is that smell, Kim?
Gasoline.
Is that funky gas? Ooh, that's that gas that came out of, what's his name's car? What's the guy's name? Here I am with names again. Can't bring them up.
That gas that came out of that car.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's a gas that came out of, what's his name's car?
Yeah, there's not a lot of it. Shouldn't be a big problem. Doing it outside and draining it.
Let's see here.
Drying everything before I bring
My
it in.
64 was a 2-door sedan, ex-cop car. Oh, it was a 2-door cop car. That's weird. 352 Interceptor. We put in a 429. We put a 429 in it from a New York State Police. How did the 429 go into the 64? Did it? What kind of mouse did you use? Did you have to make something, or did it bolt up? Or I'm really curious about that. Because 429 is a heavy. It's a heavy engine. I put a 429 and a C6 in a Thunderbird. Just pulled one out, put a used one in. The whole 429 and C6 together. And that was the only time I saw my engine hoist. All bendy, flexy. It's almost scary. And of course, putting the engine in there, you're like this, and you got the transmission way down and trying to put it in. And I did it by myself. It was not a fun job. FEs, yeah, but a 429 is not an FE. $429's a 385 engine. 428's an FE. Unless he meant to say 428. Got all my parts from a little shop about 10 minutes from where I lived. A guy had a small shop then called Summit. Yeah, isn't it funny when a small shop turns... Like when I was out in California, there was a guy that used to make phone calls, and the name of the place was Harbor. FEs are heavier than 385? I don't think so. Oh, they can't be. I thought the 385 was about 100 pounds heavier. Oh, I know why my FEs were lighter, because they had aluminum intake manifolds on them. There's 75 pounds right there.
It's got a lot of texture to it. Looks
Yeah,
good.
but that's fine. It'll look good on the engine.
Yep.
That's
It'll
fine.
look good underneath the engine on the ground where you can't see it anyways.
FEs can't be heavier than a 385. See, yeah, I mean, the cast iron intake manifold, I think you save... Oh, maybe it's 75 pounds versus 25 pounds. Maybe it's 50 pounds you save just with the intake manifold. But see, if he put a 429 in a 64, but he said 1970, that would have been a brand new engine. So, I don't know, maybe he put a 428 in it. Body was designed for the Lima 430, 462, so 429, those 64 is easy. What? Those bodies, I never saw one of the 430 or 462. They had FEs in them. They had Y blocks. Well, the early ones had Y blocks, but never in a 64. And of course, they had inline sixes in them, and they had 289s. 429 and a 430, 462 is. I don't think that's the same, Dean. I've been working on 430s and 462s. They're big, herky, just weird engine. It had integral, what do you call them? I guess the 430 didn't, but the 462 had the power steering pump, the hydraulic pump part of the engine, which also ran the windshield wipers on the Lincolns. The totally running weight of an early Lima 429. I'm not sure what an early Lima 429 is. Is that a 385 engine? It's less than the iron intake 352 FE. Police special cars had the alloy intake. They could have. Supercoder rejects spec Police Interceptor 429. Yeah, but he said he did it in 1970. Well, the 429 came out. They were like some of them, like 68 Thunderbirds, 69. They really hit the streets. I guess in 70 there could have been a police car that had a 429. I just never. Yep, 429. Won't say where we got it. It was in a wooden crate. Okay. My dad was a truck driver then. He brought it home. So how did it bolt up into a 64? What'd you use for mounts, or do you remember? The equivalent Mercuries and Lincolns would have gotten those MEL engines. Oh, okay. Well, I know the Lincolns. Yeah, the Lincolns, like, the body's so different. But the Mercuries, oh yeah, the Mercuries, oh, of course. The Mercuries had the 430s and sure. Oh yeah, and the Thunderbirds and the Lincolns, I know that, but didn't the full-size Mercuries also get the MEL? Like a 58 or 59? Well, of course, that was a little different. 60 Mercury? 61 Mercury? Did they ever put 430s in those? Man, see, I have so little experience with 430s and 462s. They were such oddball engines. I remember working on those cars, and I remember I always wanted a 58, 9, or 60 Thunderbird. I really wanted the 59 or 60, because the 58 had that goofy rear suspension, but the 59 and 60 had leaf springs. They went back to leaf springs. So I really wanted one of those Thunderbirds, and they came with either a 352 or a 430. Well, the 430 is a pain in the ass engine, and the 352, I knew I could bolt any those homemade 406s, the 390s. We made 406s out of them. I knew I could always put that into a Thunderbird. So I still look at those Thunderbirds, except they're all ancient now and pretty sad shape. 650 pounds is an iron-headed 429. 75 pounds less. The FE 600 pounds. Parklands had them. Not sure what a Parkland is. Oh, there's that smell again.
I'll put this over here.
Yeah, I remember the those 390s that we bought them 80,000s. I know we saved about 50 pounds just changing intake manifold. We never run cast iron intake manifolds. We hardly pick the things up. Yes, an MAL version of the Lima. The Mercury. Oh, Mercury Park Lane. Oh, that makes more sense. The packing label on the crate said it was going to New York State Police Garage. Ooh. Okay, so you had a new engine. So it was a 429. Yeah, I've never put a 429 in anything that didn't already have a 429 or a 460 in it. No, that's not true. I helped a friend with a 72 Gremlin for a 429 and a Gremlin. But I mean, as far as like normal Ford products, I never did a 429. Not that I didn't want. Oh, and I had 429s in cars that already had, like my 72 Torino. My 72 Torino had a 429. The Lima 430 and Lincoln 462 had a chamfered block. I'm not sure what you mean by chamfered. The end of summer in 1970, I bought a neighbor's GTX convertible, so I sold the Ford. Chamfered block, is that where the combustion chamber was in part of the cylinder? Like a, oh, what do you call that thing? Like the 409 Chevys. Let's see. Had a 77 T-Bird. This buddy had a 77 T-Bird. Only good thing, it had T-tops. I don't like T-tops. When I look at cars now, that's the last thing I want because I know it's going to be trouble. But when they were new, they were kind of nice. Yeah, I'm not a big T-top fan anymore because they're, 40 years old. And I am so ready to buy a car. Waiting for an insurance check. Man, are they dragging their heels.
Alright. I am slowly... not
Oh, hit. Buddy says they always leak. Yeah, that's what I always thought about them. And can you imagine them now? Those big fat rubber gaskets around them, and they're going to be loose and troublesome and leak and... Geez.
I am unquestionably running low on steam.
You're running low on steam?
And you still need to make some shorts.
Oh, we need to make some shorts.
So, dudes, if you are in chat and you would like us to stay live while we record our shorts...
What are you eating?
Type a number into the stream.
What are you eating?
Nothing. I'm drying these things that I just cleaned in gasoline. Shaking them around in here with a paper towel to soak up the gasoline.
It looked like you had cookies.
So, if you guys want to stick around while we do our shorts recording,
I don't know if I want to
let us know. If they want to see it, we'll do it.
See how lame it is?
But if they don't care, then we'll just wrap it up.
Tawa says, I don't know nothing about most engines. Just the Aussie Hemi 6 Mitsubishi 4G3X. I don't even know what that is. And another one, Mitsubishi. And a bit on Chrysler small blocks. Well, what was fun, Tawa, was watching your stuff showing the Hemi 6s. Because I learned a lot from you, and I'm not sure I probably saw something else with the Aussie Hemi 6. That's something everybody there's none here, I mean, they developed that engine in the U.S. and then all of them went there. Seen a bunch of the shorts you both made on the lives. Oh, okay. Yeah, we did do some on the lives. I'm looking around on my table right now. And I see something here I really like. It's a great tool, but I'm not going to do a live on this or a short on this. Who knows what these light bulbs are? Philips LED, kind of look like a lollipop. These are so good, and they quit making them. And I think they just didn't sell well because they look weird. But these are great light bulbs, and can't get them anymore. Sad. We got to see the premieres. Yep. Okay, so yeah, you're cleaning parts.
Well, I'm making room so that you can Because you have to be over here because of the light.
Because of the light, and you have to go where I have to go. I'm looking around trying to think about what I'm gonna do with. Well, I've got this thing right here. let me look through what's in this box. Okay, I got to start making space here because I got a table that's got too much crap on. Can you imagine that in a shop? Too much crap on a table.
A table with a lot of crap on it? No.
I don't really like the handles in this.
Well, show them that sometimes a kit set comes with a piece that it doesn't need. That's no good. Tell them about it. Tell the people who make the tools about their shortcomings of their sets so they can improve it.
Well, see, I do buy some good stuff, but Kim, what size was that? This? I'm going to use your head, but it's upside down. Well, over here it's not. Wrong size. Wrong size.
Here's the Starrett tap wrench.
Oh, the Starrett, the good one.
The good one that you
But
like.
I don't want that one.
Oh, that's not the one you want? Which one do you want? Yeah, show them like this is good because taps are kind of consumable.
Wait a minute.
They get worn out. They get
I
beat
want a good one of these, but I don't think because that's really clumsy. This is not clumsy, but this is a piece of crap.
Okay, do you not have one, or do you just need
I
to
don't
go
know.
grab
I don't know if I have one.
okay, I'll look and see if there's another.
I don't think I have one of these.
All right.
That's a good one. God, I hate junky tools. And this thing is to turn a tap.
No, here's a different one.
This turn a tap, and this thing falls out first of all, and then it doesn't. You tighten the crap out of this, and then the tap falls out. Just not a very good thing.
No, this one's big.
Oh, let's see how that one is.
It's a really good one, but it's big.
Too big?
I don't think it'll work, but I'll bring it over. You can look at it, but I think it's too oversized.
Okay, well, let's see what it is. Ooh, I think you're right. Oh no, maybe no, you're not. No, there's a second thing up in there.
Oh, it's stepped in there.
It's stepped in there.
No way.
See that?
Well, there you go. You say, look, these are kind of consumable. We use the cheap ones on for chasing taps.
So I'm gonna just close this over, but leave it by the keyboard. And I'll take this and this. And okay, I'm back to the chat just for a second. Let's see here. There are a lot of buddy bars and experimental SK intakes for the 429 Boss Super Cobra Jet. The alloy intake was 65 pounds lighter. Tabo, we have about 10 of those tap handles. One of those works well, yeah. Hey, you just reminded me of something about the Boss. You put in here Boss, like the 429 Boss. I watched the video today. If any of you if you like automotive kind of history, what is the guy's name? What's the guy's name with the big mustache that does the? He goes to a lot of car shows and stuff and does the videos.
He was the guy who invented the chips.
He invented the
Pringles.
Pringles potato chips. What is that guy's name? I can't think of it. Something. His channel, something classic cars.
Something classic.
Yeah, now
that's pretty vague.
Now I'm not Brian. Oh. See, I gotta start telling a story and I can't remember the guy's name.
Well, tell the story and maybe the name of
Dennis Gage, you got it. Dennis Gage.
Wait. Tim, you get 3 points.
You get 3 points for that.
For reading his mind. That was good.
Yeah,
you were on the ball, too.
That was really good.
Dennis
Gage did some videos that he posted like within the last little bit, couple months, and but he came up with it too. But he's late.
You get 1 point because you typed Dennis Gage.
Okay, so he did some or somebody that he got the videos did interviews with some car designers, and Here I am with names again, kind of trying to pull shit out of my ass, and
Ew.
it doesn't work.
Do you need me to get the endoscope?
No, I'm trying to think. Larry Shinoda, who was a car designer, did a lot of stuff. He interviewed Larry Shinoda, and it was like it was a pretty long interview. I had to watch it. It was so good. So if you're into automotive history, watching that video, and Larry Shinoda died years ago. So watching that was, it's automotive design history. One of the best interviews I've seen. Of course, I like that kind of thing. Okay, Kim. Okay, I don't know if I can do this in 60 seconds, because now we've got more than one thing to talk about.
Nope. Do you need a table? What do you need?
Oh, it'd be nice if there was like something I could set my stuff on.
Put the table back?
Oh, yeah, you do have a table back.
I had to move it because I was sorting.
Oh, you gave me the shiny side. That's good. Okay, so I can set my stuff here. You need my phone, are your hands clean?
Oh, that's what I was just doing.
Okay, my phone is behind that chair on that table.
No, it's not press rated.
The initials.
All the old points got corrupted on his hard drive. That's all right.
Oh, you gotta let me
Do you want your chair, or are you going to do this one standing up?
I'm gonna do it standing up.
Okay. Was this one a separate one, or was this part of the set to begin with?
That's out of that set.
Oh, okay.
It's probably the one you used.
All right. No, I used that little one, and it was
There you go.
Junka. What's that hum? Oh, that's the heater.
It's off.
Okay,
Off
guys.
the heater.
You're gonna get. Oh, here, wait. I'll give him the whole. I'll give him the real.
The real deal.
Front and center. What it looks like in here.
Okay. So, I don't really know what I'm talking about. I'm kind of thinking. This is what I do. I kind of think for a second, then I tell her I'm ready, and then she tells me she's ready. And then usually we get it right. Okay, do you need to sit or something? Or?
No, I gotta be halfway because you're standing up.
Halfway. Kim, my voice is killing me.
Well, all the better reason to get our shorts done so you can
Okay.
wrap them up.
Have a head here. This one happens to be off a Slant 6, but any engine that you're going to work on that's an old engine and you've had it apart and you're going to put it back together, all these bolt holes, they get crap and rust and stuff in them. And what you really want to do is take a tap and spray a little WD-40 or something in there and run the tap down through there and then pull it back out. And of course these we already did them. I'm just demonstrating it. That's why I didn't spray the WD-40 in there. But you'd run that through all the holes and clean those up before you find a problem when you put the bolt in there and then there's rust and the bolt gets stuck. So run a tap down through all the holes on an engine before you put it together.
Okay, 46 seconds.
46, that seemed like I went on forever. Okay, I'm not sure I really like that. Where's the WD? Is this can any? Oh, here, I'll use this. Kim, I'm going to get some oil in this. We're going to redo it.
It won't hurt now.
Okay. Take two.
Okay, I'm going to sit down for this one.
You can sit down.
I'm going to try
Yeah, okay.
a different angle because this way you look taller when I'm sitting down. Okay. Go from over here. The lighting's not bad. Oh, no, that is bad lighting. Big backlight there messes you up. Okay, ready, set, go.
This is a head. This one happens to be for a Slant 6, but any engine that you're building that's an old engine that you've taken apart and you got to reassemble it, all these bolt holes can get rust and dirt and crap down in there, and you really need to clean those holes out before you reassemble the engine. Any light oil that'll go in there, because if there's dirt or rust or something, you put a little light oil in there, and then you run a tap down through there, and you make sure the hole is clean, because you don't want to find out there's rust or dirt or something in there when you put the bolt in and you go to torque it down, the bolt won't even go in, and then you got a big mess and a half put together engine. So do this first, run a tap down through them. You know, it's pretty easy. You tap like this, turn it. Good tool to have around.
Okay, 50 seconds.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Making him look taller. He is tall.
Yeah, right, until I stand next to you. Okay, we're going to do one on the tap and die set. It's separate from that. So.
Something about if you're doing major engine maintenance, you want to chase your threads.
I'm not even going to go there. I'm going to go just with
basic tap and die set.
Basic tap and die set. Ooh. Okay, let's go.
Okay. Ready, set. Tap
and die set right here. This I'm not going to go over the dies much. I'm going to go over the taps right now. This is a tap. You can tap a new hole, or you can chase a hole that has some dirt or something in it. But this is a cheap set, and the cheap sets are okay. They work all right, except this stupid handle they have is just, this is a piece of junk, and the tap always falls out, and it really makes a set difficult to use. So buy a good handle. Put this in there, tighten it down. Now the tap doesn't fall out. So you got to buy one expensive piece, and you can buy the cheap tap and die set, and it'll work for you. Just buy the good handle. Good handle for a tap and die set. You got to have one.
Okay.
How long?
50 seconds.
50 seconds. Okay, we got to hear some. You gotta see what people say.
Nobody said anything.
Nobody said anything.
They are transfixed by your professionalism.
Right. Yeah, tell them the cheap.
Dean says if you'd have just left the engine block drying overnight, I would have watched it all day and given you a heap of extra watch hours. It's no need, Dean. We have enough watch hours. We've got plenty of watch hours. You just have to have. Well, I mean, but once you're monetized, we do enough of these lives that we accumulate more watch hours than we need. And they don't pay you specifically for watch hours.
The watch hours were so hard to get. The subs were so hard to get. But once we got there, I mean, the watch hours we're doing fine with that.
Yeah.
And
they're really not as relevant as us making content that's entertaining and engaging to the people who want to watch it. So we just focus on making the best entertainment that we can, and paint drying may not be the best entertainment. It's a good gimmicky thing if you have a ton of people who are going to click and watch it, maybe, but I don't think we're there. But thank you for offering to watch paint dry for us.
Kim, can we get this off the table?
Oh, I don't know.
Put it on the seat over there. And this too. Okay.
Do you want to sit down with it?
No, I want to think for a minute. I'm thinking. I'm sorry. I'm thinking.
Tavo, yeah, that's a wrap. We only really need one good short like that we pick that can use for tomorrow, and then tomorrow we have more time to do more stuff. But
I can do 3 of them right now, pretty rapid.
Once he gets in the like the headspace for it, we try and do a couple because it's faster than coming out here and make a special trip for one.
Okay, you want to do one here?
Yeah.
This is almost irrelevant now because it's an old wrench, and I like old historic stuff. The first year Snap-on made tools was 1927. This was a 1927 Snap-on tool. It's listed as a special wrench for the side of a Buick 6-cylinder. And I got one. 1927 Buick. I don't know what it does, but it's pretty cool because it's 1927. I got it. So, beginning of my collection.
Cool. That was good. It was a short one. A short. Can we be done? We'll make some more tomorrow.
You don't want to do another one?
I'm not feeling well.
Okay.
I worked myself into the end. It came up on me suddenly. You
okay.
know what?
No, that's good. I got a couple of shorts. I'll load one. I'm gonna sit here for a minute and clean my hands now after holding that. The seat went. The seat didn't roll real well, so I oiled the casters. What's going on with the camera? So I oiled the casters last night. Now I sit on it and it takes off across the room, and it wouldn't even roll before. So did anybody? Yeah, that's a wrap. But I said, well, Nashville Cats. Yeah, okay. Well, there's 1,352. Yeah. I remember that. Okay, let's see where we at here. I'm gonna go back a little bit. I don't need any more points. If you just left the engine block drying, okay, I already heard that. That's helpful. Making Buff look tall. Okay, we did all that. I thought maybe there'd be some comments on what I said, what an idiot I was, or how smart I was.
No, that'll come tomorrow once we post it.
Oh, once I post it, I'm sure there'll be somebody in there that doesn't like what I said.
Tim and Dean and Tavo, you guys are great. Thanks for hanging out with us so much tonight.
You're like on the wrong side, way in the back somewhere.
I am. I'm hiding.
So we're gonna turn.
The valves are looking fantastic. They're all ready to be installed, and I want to do that, but I'm whooped. It hit me.
Well,
I've got all my stuff prepared though.
We're almost 3 hours into this.
Yeah.
We're 2 hours and 52 minutes.
But putting valve springs together should be pretty straightforward work to do on this cylinder head. And then, let's see, the valve cover needs cleaned and painted. The pistons need installed. We got to do that. We still have many days.
So the question now is, tomorrow night, Tony does a live tomorrow, and Ari usually does the after the Tony show, but I haven't seen Ari in weeks. So do you want to come up here tomorrow night? And I mean, Tony will be done long before 10 our time. Do you want to do it tomorrow night, or do you want to take tomorrow night off, or what do you want to do?
No, let's work for a couple hours tomorrow night.
Okay, so tomorrow night,
We'll did not. 10. Usually it's Dead Dutch Garage.
Did not feel good. I turned my head too far.
If you guys watch Tony or Dead Dutch Garage or any of those people, stop in here afterwards. We'll be here working.
Yeah, we'll come in at 10 our time. So
if you guys aren't here at the beginning, we'll just dock you some points. It's no big deal.
Sayer says, "Holy cow, Batman, you're still alive."
We are still alive.
You missed the whole middle.
No, you did fine.
The T5 Fox body gearbox has 1352 cast side of it. Just woke up to check email and you're still going. Yeah, we're done. We're just talking about if we're gonna be here tomorrow night. We decided we're gonna make that commitment. We'll be here tomorrow at 10 o'clock Central Time, U.S. Central Time tomorrow. So take care. Good night, everybody.
Okay, thanks everyone. Good night. We'll see you tomorrow. Or Tuesday.